two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sgt McClusky. What's going on, bro?
Finally back.
Yeah, nice to have you back. I have a question for chat. Does my audio sound a little low for you guys, or is it just me? I don't know. Because last video we did of this, they said my audio was a little low. So I just want to make sure my microphone sounds loud enough, or if not, then I can turn it up a little bit. Because I'm maxed out on inside the thing. Sounds normal? Okay. Normal meaning low? So Generation X Gaming is a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and it rants along the way. We're here live Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. And this weekend, I have a lot of work because I'm trying to get the last 10 episodes. We're on episode 384. I got to get the last 10 episodes up on Spotify. So people have been bugging me and sending me stuff. They're like, what happened? What happened to you? What happened to?
Are they bothering you?
Yeah, what happened to your podcast? It's like, it's still there. You can go watch it on YouTube, but they want it on Spotify. So I got to get it up on Spotify. I promise I'll do better. So on today's show, we're going to be talking about Helldivers. We're going to be talking about Skull and Bones. We're going to be talking about Suicide Squad. We're going to be talking about Microsoft. We're going to be talking about Sony. We're going to talk about games we've been playing. What else we got? We got Sony's disciplining Bungie. Get your shit together, Bungie. Microsoft has brought their games over to third parties. It's official now. There's 4 games that are out on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation. So lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of games, things to talk about. One more thing I forgot to mention before the show, Sarge. Did you ever see the trailer for the new Borderlands film?
I did.
Okay, I watched it off stream, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about it when we get there.
All right, so stop me from talking about it until it's time, because I want to talk about it.
All right, don't talk about it right now. Don't talk about it right
Okay.
now. All right. So if you guys like what we do here, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do appreciate everyone coming out. If you're here for 1 second, 1 minute, or 1 hour, I do appreciate you very much. All right, so let's get to what we've been playing. All right, Sarge. It's been 2 weeks since the last time we saw you. And the last time we saw you, you weren't really playing a lot because you didn't feel well. You were sick. So
it's it just hung around, dude. It just hung around. It's horrible.
Well, I think you gave it to mom or dad, and then they gave it to my wife, and then there's just
okay. First of all, I wasn't here. They didn't get sick until I got back. And they came home sick, all right? I wasn't even here.
They came here sick, or dad came here sick. Anyway,
right?
What have you been playing besides the sick game?
Well, I played the new update for Division 2. Same old, but I'll tell you what, though.
That's a blast. I played it with you. I played it with you.
I enjoy finding the guns I want to upgrade in that game, and I'm going to say it again. They don't give that team enough credit for the level design of that game. Okay? And this is the difference. And we always talk about it. It's the same old repetitive gameplay. That is correct. You are shooting guys in the face. Okay?
Love shooting guys in the face.
However,
favorite pastime, shooting people in the face.
Yeah, but everywhere the city is made like the city. It's different areas, different things. Closed-in spaces, hallways, alleyways, open spaces, cars everywhere. Like, when you're doing the moves and you're running around trying to hide and move behind stuff, you have to be mindful of where your dodge roll is all the time because you're going to be backing into a bunch of crap all the time. So it's a little different all the time. Is it the same? Yes. Do they mask it enough for me to believe that it isn't? Yes. Right. So even though I get bored if I play it too long, I'm okay jumping back in just to fuck around.
Right.
They did a good job.
I say it all the time with that game, man. Every time we play it, every time I put it back in, every time we play it, I'm like, God damn, this looks good. Like the set design and the intricate parts of that game, just walking through a burning building or toxic waste is there, or bodies piled up, or garbage piled up, or just something's trapped. It looks amazing, and people just run through that stuff, and I always admire it. I'm just like that whoever did that design, like whoever put all that trash in there, kudos to you if you ever watch this. It's amazing looking trash.
I want to see the making of Division 2, and I want a developer to sit down and tell them how they did the layers of the level design, because that's what it appears like to me. Like somebody came in and set up the shapes. Like this is a rectangle area, this is a triangle area, and they put a little bit of stuff in, and then they pass it to somebody else, and they fill in the blanks a little bit more, and then they pass it to somebody else, and then he did a little bit more. Like that's the only way you could do that,
right? Because otherwise you get too like OCD, try to put stuff, and it starts to look like patterns, right?
Right.
Nothing looks like patterns.
Right.
It looks
No
natural,
patterns.
right? It looks natural.
No patterns.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, they don't give enough credit to that. The other game I was playing, I caught you and your stream talking or watching the video with Asmongold and the other two guys. I can't remember the other guys' names. I apologize. But they mentioned Brotato, and I was like, another kind of Vampire Survivor game. So I downloaded Brotato. Right. It does have some levels to it, but you can't pick them. Like you can't. You have to. It's the luck of the draw what the game wants to give to you, and then you can kind of like build your character according, and then hopefully you keep getting the roles that allow you to build in that direction, but you're not guaranteed.
Right.
So it's a little different. Listen, the map is not big at all, bro. Like the map is just bigger than your television screen. So like when you walk to the edge of the screen, the map ends right there. So you're just on a square. That's all it is.
Okay.
You're just inside this. It's a rectangle.
Is it more fun or less fun than Vampire Survivor?
I mean, I think they did the same thing. Vampire Survivor lets you walk around, but it's aimlessly walking around because the level just repeats over and over again.
Yeah, it's like it's endless.
This just says you're in a square room, try not to die, go. Right, 6-weapon max. I haven't figured out the best layout yet, but I tried melee, didn't like it. I did ranged. You can hold 6 weapons, so I did like a mixed build. I did like a 3-shotty, 1 medic gun, and 2 exploders, and that seems to be doing well to like replenish your health, because you have to decide while you're leveling if you're going to be like more armor, more dodge, more hit points. Like you got to pick. Like, but you can't do it. You can't do everything. By the time I got to level like 25 or 30, the guys are out. It's bad. So I'm trying to figure out. I've hit a plateau, and I'm trying to figure out whether or not I need to be adding more crit damage, because all the bonuses they give you take something away. So you have to kind of like balance out what you want to be, what you want your negatives to be, and then keep stacking the positives. Like I try to do like all positives, and it didn't work out well because then I wasn't fast enough, right? If you're too slow, the guys are just on top of you, so it doesn't matter, right? So it's a delicate balancing. I haven't figured out the combination. Give me like another week, I'll probably have it down.
Oh wow, it is a really small area.
I think I got to level 30 before I died. That's the furthest I've gone, in level 30, and then I died, and then you have to retry. But listen, it's a game. It was fun. Am I going to play it forever? No. But I like the ability. I like the
every time you play, it's different.
Trying to figure out how to go longer, like because you can't like in Vampire Survivor, you get to God mode pretty quick. You know what to go for. You just pick it and you keep going. Right. This game, you don't get to go God mode right away. You got to figure it out.
Right. I also played a game like Vampire Survivor. Okay, here's Brotator on the screen. Right, this is not Sarge's footage. This is just random footage off YouTube. So this looks interesting. I actually might play it. You said it's on Is that it's on Xbox? That's free.
You know when it's on. I don't want to.
It's
I
on-
don't want to advertise. I don't want to
Game
advertise.
Pass.
I don't want to advertise because then everyone thinks I'm a shill. Everyone
It's
thinks I'm a
on
shill.
Game Pass. So I played a game sort of like this. I played my own type of survival game. Okay, and mine is called Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. And let me tell you, this game is wonderful. It's an absolute gem. It's $10 on sale. I don't know if it's still on sale, but I got it on sale.
$10.
Yeah, $10. It's 10% off when I picked it up like 5 days ago. I played it on Monday, 4 days ago. Actually, I played it on Sunday. And I absolutely love this game. It's Deep Rock Galactic. Okay, yeah, it's an early access as well. Thank you, Paul. Okay. And I liked Vampires. I really like Vampire Survivor. Now you're showing me Brotato, and I might go play some Brotato. But this game, graphically, fantastic. And if you played Deep Rock Galactic, you have the same characters that you played in Deep Rock Galactic. This is taking Deep Rock Galactic, which is pretty funny because if you think about it, lots of games go from like top down like this. Like Grand Theft Auto went from a top down to three-dimensional, like, you know what I mean? And like Halo went from top down to first-person shooter, which then came back around to top down, right? They usually go from top down. Helldivers 1 was top down, and then it went to third person. This game went from first-person shooter, right, survival game inside, co-op game, to top-down solo play, and they captured this thing, and it's super well done.
Yeah.
Super well done.
Exactly.
It's an early access, okay? Less than $10, right? That's like 2 microtransactions in any other free-to-play game, okay? This is a full-fledged game, and there's so much to do, okay? They have a different mechanic in this game that they have in other games, like you just showed us, Brotato and also Vampire Survivor. You have to try to mine your stuff. So there's the gold that you're mining. There's nanite, or I can't, is it nan? I think
Nanodes?
no, it's nanite. Nanite. That's what it is, nanite. Nanite's the red stuff. There's the glowing red stuff, which is the sugar, which gets you your health back. Then, if you notice, you can't see on the screen, but on the top, there's a little meter. And every so often, there's a meter, and it tells you, like, where the drop point is, when the hordes are coming in. So you kind of have prepare yourself what's happening. So you run around, you mine some stuff, you get some mining resources and whatnot. Every time you get the orbs and kill things, just like Vampire Survivor, you get to upgrade your gear, okay? Once you upgrade your gear to a certain point, you hit a little boost mode, like overclock mode, and you can add an ability to your weapon or whatnot, okay? Then, in between the rounds, you use the gold that you use and the nanite that you find to upgrade more stuff, okay? And then at the end, when you're done with the rounds, right, you can't see on the screen, but above my head over on the side, there's 5 dots. There's 5 levels per thing, okay? The boss is at the 5th level. So once you get to the 5th level, you do the boss. Once you complete the dive, you go back out, and there's these main resources that you can get while you're going through the game that you then use for your overall account to make your characters better, okay? And I'll show you in just a second because this guy's almost dead. Here, I'll fast forward a little bit. I'll show you the boss real fast. Here comes the boss. Boss breaks out, and then it's this giant creature. He jumps at you, and you gotta fight. And then once you kill the boss, obviously there's 4 different classes that you can pick from right now. There's a scout, there's a gunner, there's a driller, and there's a tinkerer, or not the tinkerer. I forget what the other guy is. Anyway, we'll fast forward a little bit, and I'll show you the end game here, or not the end game, but what happens after. So you level up your stuff. There's leveling up in the game itself, and then there's the what the hell just happened there? There's also, second, I'm trying to get there. This is live, folks. So I'm trying to get to the spot where I show you.
We're live.
Yeah, I'm trying to show you what it looks like at the end of the game when you're going back into the dive. Okay. There it is. Got it. And I just lost it. Okay, right here. Perfect. So then there's these abilities that you can upgrade while you're in between matches. Okay, so you get more more critical hit, more luck, more mining, stuff like that. There's these resources up at the top here, okay? And each of these resources, there's 6 resources, and there's 6 lines, 6 categories here, okay? 6 categories, top and bottom are the same. So they're different abilities, but they use the same resource. So this yellow resource here is for the first row. This blue one here is for the second row. This white pearl thing's for the third row. This green one's for the fourth row. This red one's for the 5th row, and so on, right? And as you level up, you can buy some more if you have the gold to do it. If you don't have the gold, then you can sell the materials you have to get the gold to upgrade and stuff and whatnot. So there's lots of things that you can do. Like I said, there's 4 different classes. And so you can pick from the driller. There's different hazard zones per thing. There's only three levels right now, but in each level there's 5 hazards, and each hazard has 5 levels in each of the hazards, right? And again, you could be the driller. The driller is nice because you can mine things faster, so you can like blow through stuff. Where the other guy might use turrets, another guy uses shotguns, another person uses grenades more. So it's a nice little change that you can do between all these characters. And there's different. Here, I'll show you the driller real fast. Right, he just blows through mining really fast. Okay, and you can mine faster and faster if that's what you want to dig in. So I use my miner or my driller to get these resources as fast as possible. And if I die, I don't care because I just go back in and he just mines them faster than everybody else right off the bat. So it's a really fun game. It's just addictive. Like, you just play every day. I've been playing 1 game at least. If not, I go into like a couple hours. I already have 19 hours in this game.
Am I getting confused? I thought Deep Rock Galactic was out a long time ago. This is a different version of Deep Rock Galactic?
Yes, this is Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. Deep Rock Galactic was the co-op game that came out like 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's why I was confused. I was like, how is he talking about a 4-year-old game? Like, it just came out. Like,
yeah, no.
So they did the same title or the same.
It's just a different version of the same.
Title.
Same characters, same universe, same everything. Okay. Only it's a solo survival game instead of just like Vampire Survivor. And they've done a really good job. So if you want to give your money to someone that's actually doing a good job, and this is early access, no servers. So you're not going to be waiting in a server trying to get on. Okay, it's a single player game that you can just jump in and start playing, and it's a blast. Okay, so check it out. I really like it, and the only reason I picked this game up, Sarge, is because the next game I've been playing, which is Helldivers. Now, because Helldivers servers were a bag of shit, and you couldn't get in, and everyone was waiting and waiting and waiting.
Why are you? Whoa! Why are you so negative? It's just what happens when a game is popular. Why are you talking like it's a piece of shit? It's not a piece of shit because the servers don't work. It's a piece of shit because there are too many people trying to play.
That's fine.
That's different.
Now, as the customer, I don't give a shit if it's broken buggy because it's broken buggy, or if it's broken buggy because there's too many people. I paid money to play a game I can't play. So anyway, the reason I was playing, Helldivers, and then I couldn't play Helldivers because everyone in the planet Earth was trying to play Helldivers. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to sit and hitting the button over and over to try to get into the lobby for hours and hours. So I said, oh, all of a sudden, Deep Rock Galactic came on my screen, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll try. $10. Bought it, played it, put 18 hours into that game while waiting to try to get into this game over the last week. Okay, we've been playing the last couple days.
Well, that's what you do. I buy a game. If I can't play that game now, I just bounce to a different game.
Right?
No big deal.
So, 2 weeks, the last time we were on the show, I was giving praise to Helldivers, how they were communicative. They were talking out loud, giving good, constructive, like, hey, we hear what's happening. We're trying to figure it out. But what I really love about this game, I didn't really go into what I was playing last time, Sarge, when you were on the show. I talked a little bit about with Kinger last week. But this game, let me tell you, man, it's $40. It has microtransactions in it, but the key word there, micro. Literally microtransactions, right? We're talking like $1, $2 skins, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, they could change that along the way. But as of right now, it's $40. Okay, I've earned enough in the game by just playing the game where I could buy the premium pass now. There's the regular battle pass that never expires, and the medals that you get in the game, okay? This game, the attention to detail of this game, Sarge, is crazy. Like, look at the atmosphere right now. Just like I praised Division for giving the attention to detail to what they're doing in Division. Look at the atmosphere of the smoke, the way the light comes off. There's day-night cycles that happen. The attention to detail, your guy, the way he holds the weapons. If you have a pistol in your hand, turn around, he'll run backwards and shoot the pistol. Okay, if you have other ones, it's hard for him to do. There's team up stuff, right? There's orbital strikes you can call in. Watch the explosions and stuff that happen. Look at this, right? The laser's just shooting down. Okay, there's this laser just it's amazing, right? The explosions are beautiful. The atmospheric part of this game is amazing. Okay,
So
everything in this game is immersive.
What you're basically saying is they concentrated on the core values of a game: gameplay, accessibility, fun factor, and graphics. Right? That's basically what you're saying.
Yes, but it's little attention to details. The way they call out things, right? Like if you kick someone from the game, it says they've been court-martialed. Okay? Everything this company does, even in their tweets, they talk like they're part of Super Earth and they're part of the Helldivers. They're like, we have bugs in the game. We're selling out Helldivers to see if we can figure out the problem, right? They keep it in theme.
It's just a bunch of rocks, bro. There's nothing really to the level. Just a bunch of rocks.
It's just like
I'm not looking at a detailed city with
right.
47 million bodies inside body bags and toxic waste everywhere and cars overturned. And like the level design here is just a bunch of rocks. I'm just running around a bunch of rocks. Why is this game so special?
That's exactly right, Sarge. Right, Starfield.
Why is this game so?
If you take Starfield's open boxes, right, there's boundaries in this game as well, Sarge. No one's complaining about the boundaries that you can hit in this
boundaries.
Game. Yeah, there's.
Oh my God, no.
There's
bro,
boundaries in this game. Okay, but that's the difference, right? The difference between this game and what Starfield's worlds look like. I'm not comparing Starfield to this game 1-to-1, but the planets that you're running on in Starfield are just as bare bone as what this game is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
but the gunplay is much better.
Absolutely, right? And the creatures that attack you and do all this stuff. Can you imagine if Starfield did this? Oh my God, people would be losing their shit, right? But anyway,
it wouldn't be called Starfield,
right? Well, anyway, the cooperativeness and the way you do, like, okay, so when you're playing this game, like calling down the stuff, sounds.
You're talking to me about this game. You sound like you did when Destiny first came out.
Yes. The difference though is this is not a looter shooter. This is just a looter of fun. It's just it loots the fun. Okay, it's super fun. It's super exciting to play. You're constantly in the shitstorm on the higher difficulty levels. Okay, we were playing challenging last night. You'll watch me a couple times. I'm diving left and right. We're being attacked. It's just constant going. The music that's playing is just awesome. The sound effects, the guns that you're using is awesome. The call outs when you're doing, the people that you're talking to as you're communicating and stuff.
Immersion.
Yes, the immersion in this game is phenomenal. Okay, everyone knows if I say dropping from the ship right now, everyone that's played Helldivers is going da 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 da. Like the music is in your head, right? It's so awesome. I want a television show of this, right? I want a weekly television show like the A-Team of Helldivers that just go down on a planet and just shoot shit. Okay,
yeah, it's Smash TV basically, right?
It's fantastic. So the little side missions and the main missions that you do in this. There's one, Sarge. You would like this, right? I'm going to buy this for you. I'm buying this for you. You're going to play it with us. Okay. They have a fuel. You go to a fuel station. Okay. Ship comes flying over. You got to put some codes into the console. All of a sudden, the fuel dump depot hose comes down from the ship that's floating above. You got to hook it up. You got to run up to the valve. You got to hook the gas pump up to the ship. While you're doing that, bugs, robots are attacking. You got to hold them off while you're doing while the ship is taking fuel. You got to save people, okay? And they got to run, and you're blasting robots in the face as people are running from one building to the spaceships to get the hell out of Dodge, okay? They do so many cool little side things, radar dishes. You make a nuke go off. Have you seen one of the nukes go off, Sarge?
Watch one of your streams with the nuke go off, yeah.
That's intense. Right.
The humor thing I like is when you land on top of somebody when you're inside the pod, or you use the pod to kill like a big boss. You use somebody's call in to kill something. I think that's kind of cool.
Yes. Right. You could call down things from above. Now, a lot of people think when the time ends, that's it. It's over. Right. But that's not what happens. What happens then is that your ship can't give you equipment anymore. So if you're below the time limit, you can't call in anything anymore. It's just you and your bullets, okay? Because you can't call in orbit strikes. You can't call in extra ammo. It's like whatever's around you is what you can use, and you hold them off until that ship gets down there that you called in, okay? It's a really, really good time. The attention to details to this game are phenomenal. And what's mind-blowing about this, Sarge, is when you're up in space, every ship that you see out there is in real time of other people playing the game in front of you in that vicinity. Okay? And if a group fails, okay, if a group fails and you happen to be on your ship and one of the other groups fails and they didn't make it out of, their ships up above start blowing up around you, up in the orbit. It's freaking awesome. Okay? There's also, it's a live service game, and because it's a live service game, they can constantly add stuff. So this week they added the automatons, okay, which is the robot Terminator guys.
Terminators, yeah.
And they're pushing on these certain planets, and it's like a choose your own adventure, but we're working as a community together.
It makes you feel like what we talked about Destiny should have did a long time ago, to make you feel like that they're actually attacking something as opposed to just being an empty planet where no one gives a shit.
Yes.
Same type of thing.
So if they push and take over the planet, they push towards Super Earth more, and we got to push them back, right? And if you push them back, something else happens. So it's really interesting to see what's going to happen if the robots push towards Super Earth and the stuff that we have to do. Okay, now again,
is it only ever 3 guys on a map?
4. It's 4 guys.
4 guys. Is it only ever 4 guys on the map? Not like a bigger map with a bigger boss, and there's 3 teams of 4, like that kind of thing?
Here's the thing. I don't know what they have possibilities of what they could do. The potentials of this game, they could do like a big, maybe it's 8 people or 16 people can come on a planet, and it's a big boss fight you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea.
Well, we don't know.
The potential of what they do for this game, though, is very exciting to see.
How much I heard that before, the word potential.
No. But what I'm saying is, this game is literally a live service game. They're updating this thing on the fly, unlike other games in the past that are like, you got to wait 6 months before something happens, right? They're doing this now. I don't know if they can keep doing it every other week or weekly or whatever they're doing, but if they add another faction or they add other vehicles, or they are adding this stuff, and they can add new weapons and new armor. Just everything about this game. This is a game, man. This is a game. It's made a game, and they sold a game. And the biggest problem about this game was the amount of people that were coming in, which obviously it'll get fixed over time. A lot of people that are playing this game are moving on to other games because they're like, I paid my money, I can't get it. But, and it's frustrating. But that's the biggest problem with this game. There's a couple little bugs here and there. People were stuck on black screens. People, when you pick up certain things, get stuck. They made switches to the servers, and they're constantly patching it faster than any game I've ever seen before in my entire life.
Well,
I'll be honest.
That's because they know it's a flash in the pan, and they have to capitalize on the flash in the pan. Otherwise, people won't buy the game. If they realize that people who have bought the game can't play and there's bugs in it, then they'll just pass it by. But they know it's a flash in the pan, so they have to keep up.
When the guns all sound good. I love using the LMG. Right, just pull out the LMG. I'm using a new what's the gun I'm using now? I'm using the Liberator precision gun. And you can make each gun, if you hold the X button, or if you hold the X button on the controller, you can set your length, right? You can set your calibers. You could set, like, if you want the... I tell you, Sarge, if you played this game, within 5 minutes, you would never play Hell Let Loose again. You would play this game and this game only.
I don't think so.
I'm telling you.
You are not correct on that statement.
I'm telling you. You find a group of people that communicate like Hell Let Loose, and you're playing this against the automatons, you're never going back to Hell Let Loose.
Sorry.
Okay.
You're incorrect.
We shall see. Challenge accepted. Yep. I will buy Sarge this game, and we'll see how many hours Sarge gets in it. He will have more hours in this game than I will. He will hit 100 hours before I will. Who wants to bet, chat?
Don't bet, chat. You don't want to lose money, chat. Don't do it. Don't do it.
We'll bet gifted subs, gifted memberships. Okay. He must resist the Helldiver. Now, I'm telling you, he would love this game. This is right up Sarge's alley. He'd be like, "This is so fucking good," right? So I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast with Helldivers, and I'm looking forward to see what they have in the future. I'm mixing it up between a couple games right now. I'm mixing it up between Suicide Squads, Helldivers, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, Division. Right, I'm bouncing back and forth between a couple games. There are a couple games that are coming out that I'm excited for. That I don't know if I'm going to pick them up right away. But there's Expedition, Mud Runners Expeditions coming out next month. We have Pacific Drive, which is that station wagon survival game, which looks actually pretty cool. I watched SkillUp's review on it. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot of games. We're done with Let's Play. Let's go to top stories real fast. All right. So with the beginning of 2024, okay, we have Pal World that came out, $30 game, early access.
Yep.
Blew up the internet. Okay.
Yep.
There was another game that came out a little bit last year, and Chad, you're gonna have to remind me. I forget the name of it. It was like the horror game called Lethal something. I forget what it's called. Right. It was blowing up on social media because people were playing this game. It's like a co-op horror game that you go through. Lethal something. I forget what it was. Chad will help us out in a second. Okay. Blowing up on social media. Okay. Not as big as what Pal World's doing. Helldivers. Lethal Company. Thank you, Krebsy. Thank you, Salty. Right? Lethal Company. Right? Cheaper game. Blowing up. Pal World. Cheaper game. Blowing up. Helldivers. $40 game. Blowing up. Okay.
But the industry's just too hard to make games, bro. We can't make any money. We got to charge all kinds of shit. Games are too much.
Galactic Survivor, $10, right? Doing really well for what the game is. Then you have games like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, which I'm a fan of. I like the game. $70 to $100 game, pre-early access. Okay,
Not Batman.
It's not Batman.
Not Batman.
Server issues galore. They just did a patch today that ruined the game even worse than it was before the patch. I don't know how you do it. But they did it. I think they said Marvel's Avengers, hold my beer. We're getting into that territory right now at release about what's happening with the servers and the problems that are happening with Suicide Squad, okay?
It's not Batman.
Skull and Bones comes out, okay? $70 to $100 game. First quadruple A game, Sarge. First quadruple A game.
It is not the first. You know what? I'm not even just getting you talking.
I'm just saying what the CEO said. It's the first.
It's not a quadruple A game.
First quad. No, it is not. It's barely a game.
It's not.
It's barely.
Just stop the cap.
It's barely a game, right? I forgot Kylo just came out today. Last Epoch came out. Okay, lower price game. Okay. There's these little games that are coming out that are just smashing records, smashing. People are excited about this now. My question to you, Sarge, is: are we going to see more? Are we seeing a like table flip right now of people are just tired of these AAA games that come out broke, buggy, unfinished, live service, pay to win, microtransactions, $65 mount skins? Okay, and are they starting to move towards these $30, $40 games? And if so, what does that mean for Microsoft and Sony, where they have all this money invested in these bigger games that takes 5 to 6 years to make?
Well, there's a couple of things you have to kind of just sit down for a minute and analyze, right? So if a game comes out and does well, they always chase it, right? And they've been doing that for a while. And so they chased MMOs, but MMOs take a long time. And so when a lot of the MMOs came out, they weren't that good, or didn't have enough staying power. So they spent a lot of money and then they went away. I mean, there are still MMOs, but you know what I'm talking about. Then we had the rash of RTSs come out, and then everybody wanted to chase RTSs. And of course, the cream always rises to the top. And the RTSs that were good stayed around long time. And the ones that just came out were just like a thing that someone had bought. And the studio decided that we didn't make enough money on the RTS, so we're going to do something else. So yes, they chase trends. So in this instance, what you have is you have smaller companies making a game and selling a game. And not to brag, but they sell enough copies to where no one's worried about it. We made a game, we sold a game. Nice job, guys. Pat yourselves on the back. Let's see if we can do something else, right? On the other hand, you've got these multi-corporate conglomerate studios that have so many people and so much bullshit going on inside them that they have to do AAA games only or huge games only because they have to be able to put as much crap into that game as possible in order to recoup the money they spent to make it.
Right.
And I think it's diminishing returns at this point. Some of these studios have gotten so big that they can't make money on a game that they want to make because there's too many people in the studio, right? Period, right? They can't budget, they can't decide what kind of game they want to make, and then they have to push back the game 12 times before the game comes out. So, who's going to be the winner here? Well, if you look on paper, the companies that are making a game and selling a game, like Larian, right? like these other studios that come out and just make a game.
Arrowhead,
those are the ones.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are going to be around, and everybody else is going to have to figure out how many more people do we have to fire.
Right.
Right. So trend chasing, yes. Are they going to start trying to make games like this? Yes. But in that case, we should see those games like Helldivers and like Palworld. We should see them within 18 months because those games don't take long to make. Right? So you might be flooded with a bunch of games that are kind of like Palworld or kind of like Helldivers 2, but we'll see them. But we'll see them sooner than we'll see these AAA titles trying to copy each other because those take longer. So I'll give it to like next spring. We'll start to see games like Palworld and Helldivers that are like that. I'm pretty sure because they sell and they want to make money. They'll chase the quarter, right? It's just me, chat. I'm going to say this because I'm a little rude this way. Sometimes I roll quarters in the airport, and I just to see I roll quarters in the airport to see who runs after them and pick them up. Right? More often than not, I want you to know this. More often than not, it's adults, not the kids. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, I used to.
We'll chase a quarter.
I have a similar story. I used to do the gift wrapping thing at the mall for the band when I worked this, and on my break I would take a quarter and I would glue it to the ground.
Yeah,
and I would watch grown adults get on their all hands and knees and try to pick up that quarter like it was $1,000 bill.
That's a stupid segue. But the segue just means is yes, they will chase the easy money. That's in case nobody in chat's following me, right? Yes, companies will chase the easy money always. Always.
Sure, Salty. It was 6 years for Helldivers, but at the same time, it didn't cost them as much as a Skull and Bone that took 10 years. It didn't cost as much as Spider-Man that took 5 or 6 years. You know what I mean? Helldivers didn't cost them $250-300 million to make. Okay, they literally came out and said that they thought the servers were going to be at like 20,000 to 50,000 concurrent. 20,000 to 50,000 concurrent. They were at 500. 500,000 concurrent.
Because they lowballed themselves. It's fine. Listen, that's normal. Lowballing yourself is normal. That's a normal thing to do because you don't have the money to buy the servers or to rent the servers. You have to go with the flow, right? If enough people buy the game and we're having problems with the servers, then we use some of the income and we buy or rent more servers. That's how it goes.
I think the difference.
It's normal.
I think the difference here is like the MMO New World that came out for Amazon. Amazon created New World. Okay, Amazon's one of the biggest providers of servers in the world. Okay, and when New World had server issues, everyone was like, "Open up fucking servers!" Right? Arrowhead, Sony's the publisher. Arrowhead for Helldivers needed more server space, but it's not just about servers, right? But yet, it's not just make more servers. Okay, for a company.
You have to rent them.
They have to rent those servers, and when they rent those servers, they don't know if it's going to be that popular. So if let's just say they have a million spots now open, but only 200,000 people came, they're paying for the 800,000 other servers that no one's using, and that's killing them, right? They would rather have the problem now, which the director came out and said, look, I get it. Don't buy the game right now. Wait till we figure this out. It'll get fixed. It'll get fixed.
Listen, it's nice that a bunch of people listen, it's fantastic that a bunch of people threw money at them because they like the game.
Right.
But those people who threw money can't play.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling to me because it's just a weird timing, right? Yeah, you have these AAA games that are struggling Suicide Squad is struggling to get player base. So, Skull and Bones is less than 1 million people bought this game, and that's including the free trial. Okay,
Yep.
which I'll talk about right now. We have where is it? We have the players. No, that's the wrong one. Yeah, I talked about this earlier this week or today, right? Skull and Bones has less than 1 million players total, including free trial players. Okay. Now, this comes from Insider Gaming source that has revealed that Skull and Bones, which is dubbed Ubisoft's first quadruple A game by CEO, has less than 1 million players total. Speaking to the source, the game currently is around 850,000 players. That's across 3 platforms. Okay. At the time of 4 platforms, I think it's on Amazon and Luna, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Writing this includes those who have opted to play the game with 8 hours free trial provided by Ubisoft. At the moment, players are seemingly fairly engaged, with the average player playing between 3 or 4 hours a day. Now, however, whether or not this will change once the free trial expires, it'll be converted players into full purchasers remains to be seen, right? So you have this quadruple A game, but it can't even get 1 million people to play or buy the game. You have Suicide Squad struggling to get people because of their server issues and whatnot, and then you have Home Run from Pal World, Home Run from Helldivers, a Home Run so far from Last Epoch.
So let me ask you this question. Do you believe, by the way, that the direction that the industry is going, now let's take out the games as service model, like the Game Passes and the PlayStation Nows and then all the thing. Take that away. Do you think it benefits the industry for there to be monstrous corporate guys that own 47 different studios because they're trying to encapsulate as much money as possible? Or do you think it's better to have, I don't know, 30 or 40 studios of like less than 100 people pumping out games with passion every 18 months or 2 years or so? And what do you think has been more beneficial for the industry? Right?
I think, well, more beneficial is people that make Cuphead or Tunic or, that took them years to do, but smaller teams. What No Man's Sky is doing, it came out, it was pushed by corporate, was pushed by PlayStation, by Sony. They invested in them to help them publish the game at launch, but that ruined them for 2 years, and then they came back by themselves now and basically boosted up what they could fix, right?
But you heard the conversation when you guys watched that video earlier with Osmogold and the other 2 gentlemen. He even said that companies are looking for a TAM. They need to have that the number has to be like,
that blueprint of what it's going to do.
If I give you this money, if I give you the money for this game, then are we gonna make $300 million off the bat? Because if that's not going to happen, then I can't give you the money. Like that's the attitude they have for loaning you money to make a video game. That's why you can't be involved in that. You have to start small, build a following, get something cool and something that's niche that some people like,
right,
and you grow it like a plant or like a child. You're supposed to nurture the thing that you love in order for it to become something great. Not that give me $600 million and I'm not going to give it to you unless you give me $1 billion back. Like that's not a guarantee.
Well,
gaming's not a guarantee.
This is why I think what Microsoft is doing. I brought this up a couple times over the last year. Everyone's like, they're not blockbuster games, right? I don't think they're also, it's not $300 million games. Like Redfall is the extreme of how bad it came out, but it came out broke. Like it wasn't even complete. But I think what they're trying to do at Microsoft with their games is they're trying to keep that price point down. Again, I said that how much does a 90 cost you to make a game, right? How many years do you have to put in to get a 90 on Metacritic and get people popular, and how much money you have to pump into that to advertise for to make that money back, right? And how much money does an 85 cost you, or an 80, between 80 and 90 cost you? Is that $100 million less? And if so, I don't have to advertise it as much because we have a service called Game Pass where we can just throw it on there and we make that money back because there's 20 million, 35 million people that potentially can get it.
Yeah, but we don't know the correlation like they know the correlation.
Sure.
Like they do. They know that if their game scores an 85, they know how much more games they'll sell because it's an 85. Like they have those numbers.
Sure, and that's what I'm saying.
We don't know those numbers.
No, but
we don't know those numbers.
Absolutely.
Okay, but hang on. But we agree that that's a reality.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? We agree that the reality is that because they got a number, they sell more games. Correct?
Correct. Well,
all right.
The cost of investment to what there's going to potentially sell to compared to how much less money compared to sales.
No, what I'm saying is the reality is that a certain score dictates that they'll sell X number more games.
Correct.
That's a reality.
For a certain
Okay.
investment into that game.
So now I add on top of that, how do you trust any game journalists when they give scores? Because you know they are buying those scores in order to help them in case they need it. Case in point,
Right.
Skull and Bones. Case in point, Skull and Bones. That game is not a 7.
No. No. It's barely a
But
game.
But it had to be a 7.
Well,
Right?
yeah.
That's what they said 3 months ago. Listen, we're coming out with this game. It's got to be a 7. Right? We don't want to ask for an 8 because we know it's going to be too much, but it's got to have a 7. We have to have in the press that it's a 7 because we got to sell X number of these games. You know that's a conversation.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm not making that up. You're not making it
I
up.
mean, we are making it up because there's not a fact
No.
about that, but we can assume based on evidence, yes.
No, listen, you can leave out whatever variable you want. I can still solve for X.
Sure.
Okay. If you can tell me that this game's company does this game journalist did this, and I don't know what X is, and I can do the math and I'll figure out what X is, right? I'm good in algebra. Okay. I'll figure it out. But my point is that they set it up. I don't like the fact that the curtain has now been pulled so tight that you're not even allowed to look at all. They're going to tell you if the game is good or not. It doesn't matter that 27 people in this chat like the game or not. It depends if IGN likes the game. All right? That's what matters. And that's not how it's supposed to be. The people who play games decide if the game is good or not.
Correct.
I don't care what you say, right? A game that I might not like, half
Correct.
the chat might love.
Exactly.
Right? But let's factor in the other variables, okay? Are we all the same age?
No.
No. Have we played games the same amount of time?
No.
No. Are our tastes different?
Yes.
Yes, right? So you can't just say because we got a room full of people that 30% of the people like the game or 40% of the people like the game and that's the answer, right? There's a lot of other variables involved here, right? Helldivers 2 happens to be a game that fits the shooter genre enough and has a fun factor that allows numerous people that want to play that kind of game. Right?
Right.
Now, Call of Duty is a first-person shooter, shooty, all kinds of fun with multiplayer, but for some reason, everyone said it's enough.
Right.
Right?
Well,
cultivation of a game is important, especially at the level that we are now. Grand Theft Auto was a top-down, stupid game for your PC that was just fucking around. A bunch of guys from Rockstar made a game fucking around. Like, hey, let's make a game where you're a criminal and you run around stealing cars and running away from the cops. Top down, that's all it was. But the following and the cultivating of the first 2 games was so good that they decided to invest and say, let's see if we can escalate this.
Right,
let's go one better. Let's make a better version of this.
Yep.
And then you got the 3-dimensional version and you got Grand Theft Auto 3. Now, I'm not sure if some of you were alive, which is okay because you had your game of your time. I had my game of my time. And I know a bunch of people who didn't go to school the day that Grand Theft Auto 3 came out because it was 3-dimensional, and everyone was like, "Are you kidding me?" And it started a cult following of people who were like, "What game is this?" Because they didn't know what it was because they didn't play the first 2. But you did, and so you said, "I got this. I'm skipping school. You got to come over. You got to see this, right?" Then you got 4. Right?
Well, no. Then you got Vice City. Then you got Vice City.
Then you got Vice City.
Yeah, San Andreas.
You got 4.
No, San Andreas.
Then you got Vice City Stories, and then you got Liberty City Stories. You got those first, and then we got 5.
Well, then you got 4. Right? Then you got 5. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That took a long time to cultivate that kind of number, right? Where if I release a game, think about this: we release a game now, and I don't have to release any other game.
Right.
I canceled every other game that Rockstar was working on. We canceled them because there's no reason to work on them because this game makes all the money that we need.
Right. They can put as much detail on what they want in that one game.
So that being said, if you were supposed to cultivate the game that is your bread and butter that you built from scratch from a nothing seed into a multi-billion-dollar platform that hundreds of millions of people play, and yet you flip the coin and talk about any other IP that was along the same route and see what the corporate version of that did. Just shit on it and threw it out the window because it's not making the money that we wanted. So just throw it in the trash.
Right.
Insert game here. Halo. Insert game here. Anthem. Insert game here. Like games that games could have had a good start and a good run and decided, I didn't get my money all at once. I don't want to work on it. I want all my money up front. Like that's their attitude.
Yeah.
Right? So there's your examples. The games that they let die on the vine, and Grand Theft Auto 5, which is now this game that comes out now, I guarantee you, there's going to be divorces. Girlfriends are going to be breaking up with people. People are going to lose their jobs. Like I'm telling you, this kind of game when it comes out, that they're going to be complaining in articles that the release date better not change because I took off of work for this. I'm sorry, how old are you?
Yeah.
I'm 53. I'm waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm 53. Shut the fuck up. Get the kids into summer school. I'm waiting for this game. Like that's how they are.
Yeah, the problem with the games, man, I just feel like they're getting the amount of money that Microsoft is putting into the games that are going on Game Pass. Everyone makes fun of these games, but they're making better return on investment than the game that you would pump $300 million into, right? Like they're making money off of these games because, again, if I have a market, okay, I'm making a game, but I don't know who's going to buy my game out of this market. Okay. 3 platforms. I'm an independent developer. I'm making a game. I'm like, who am I making this game for? Am I just focusing on one singular platform, or am I trying to make it as many platforms as possible to get the best chances of getting the most sales out of it, right? Let's just say I make a game for all of it, right? Or let's say I make one for Microsoft. Microsoft says, look, we have this game that we'll give you the money up front. Okay. We'll give you the money up front. Maybe it's 70% of their whole investment. Maybe it's the entire investment for a smaller studio. Okay, we'll give you all the money up front, and you can put it on sale, keep all that stuff, okay? And you get a share of the Game Pass or whatever. And they're like, okay, because now that lift is off their shoulders, they don't have to worry about that game, right? So Helldivers right now, can you imagine if Helldivers came out and it was only on PlayStation and they were having the server issues? Now, twofold here. They might not have these server issues because the PC player base would be on the wouldn't be on, so they wouldn't have this overflow of too many people playing. Then Helldivers would just have the people that it has on PlayStation, and it might not have the success story that it's having right now. Okay, too many people are playing, and it was just on that one console. But they know they wanted to make more money, and they put it on PC, and now it's showing that PlayStation's opening their eyes. They're like, holy shit, this game has outsold every game that we've ever put on PC tenfold. Just this one game. Beat Ragnarok, beat Spider-Man, beat Last of Us, beat all the games that we put on PC so far by itself, just on PC. Now PlayStation's changing up their game plan as well, day and date probably in the future, right? Article earlier talked about the PSVR 2, where they were trying to make their games work with the PC games now, right? Where the PSVR 2 only worked for games on PlayStation. Now they're trying to change that shit so it works for PC as well because they know they can make more money off of it, right? So now we're talking about what Xbox is doing with their games, where they're pumping, let's say, $50 million into their game. Comes out, scores at 80, 85. People make fun of it. They're like, oh, it's an 85 game. It's a trash game. Yeah, trash to you, but 5 million people buy it or play it. 20 million people try it, whatever. That's a win for them because on their end, they know what their numbers they needed to hit, and they hit those numbers. Where if they invested the $150 million to $200 million and just sold it as is, and then 1 million people buy it, that's a loss because they didn't make their money back because not enough people bought the game. But they put it on Game Pass, day and date. Everyone's like, wow, this is a really good value. And they're in there. And now they have you in there because not only are you in the ecosystem of that, okay, you're buying games, you're trying different games, you're paying microtransactions, you're in that ecosystem. So I think a lot of people make fun of it's not working, but I think Microsoft is smart, and they're like, AAA games can't cost $300 million. We're not going to make our money back on it. But if we keep them around, again, I don't know the budget of a lot of their games, but Grounded, Sea of Thieves didn't cost $200 million to make, okay? And they made their money on Xbox, and now they're going to make their money over on the other platforms when they get tossed into there.
The issue, this is what's going to come up, and it's probably going to come up in the stories faster and faster. The issue with Xbox is I don't see how you're going to transition a brand when you can't assign it to an actual piece of hardware.
Why?
Like that's Because it won't be called Xbox anymore. You'll just say Microsoft. Like the transition will
Microsoft
be
Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass.
the transition will be slow at first, but people don't have something to like hang their hat on. The issue, like you'll always know PlayStation, but you'll say and you'll talk about Microsoft like it's like it's not a thing, like it's just a service. That's going to be the issue. I think that's the issue they have. That's why that's why they're so candid about how they speak during these podcasts that they do, because I don't think that they know where they have to go for the transition. They don't know.
They do know, but the fact is a lot of people don't understand it. So if they say we're getting rid of the consoles, everyone goes, ah! They start freaking out, right? They're like, we're not getting rid of consoles, but consoles are not their main focus. Their main focus is the ecosystem of what it is, meaning you can play the games everywhere. Everywhere. Meaning if you want to play it on your Xbox, play it on your... I agree. But this is what I'm saying. A lot of people don't understand that, and this is why they're telling people, and they're being dodgy, because they're like, we're not getting rid of their console, right? We're not getting rid of it, Timmy. You still have your console. You can still have it. You can still play with your console. But other people are going to get it on their television sets, and they're going to get it on their mobile phones, and they're going to get it on their PCs, and they're like, but am I still going to have my Xbox? Right, yes.
But what I'm saying is, if I play it on my phone, or I play it on my tablet, or I play it on my PC, you're not going to say the word Xbox. You're going to say Microsoft.
I don't
know.
You're
going to say something else.
When I ask for a tissue, I ask for a Kleenex.
That's the issue.
When I ask for a tissue, I understand that. But that's exactly right. I asked for can I have a Kleenex? A Kleenex is a brand.
That's correct.
Not the actual thing.
Facial tissue.
People actually think Kleenex is the tissue.
Because that's how good the marketing's been.
Correct. So what I'm saying is that's what they want to do with Xbox, right? The operating system on PCs is Windows.
I understand that. All I'm saying,
that's all they're doing with the Xbox. They're trying to get the gaming to be like that.
In a world where people were at a console war for fucking 30 years and they still think this war is going on, right? Those people, if you tell them the Xbox no longer exists, they're going to act like the people from the movie Airplane when you tell them they're out of coffee. Like they just start screaming everywhere. Yeah. So they have to transition and be able to say that they're going to stop using the word Xbox, and they're going to start using the word service, Game Pass, and Microsoft, and slowly weed it out. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm saying that they're having an issue with the transitioning of their brand, especially since they're trying to make an entirely new market that doesn't exist, that they want to be in charge of, that you're going to have to try to join because they made a new market.
Right.
I get it. Right. I know that they're breaking new ground and trying new things, and they're struggling. That I get. But they've already made the decision. We don't care about the hardware. Yes, we're making hardware, but I don't care about it.
Right.
Because they know that the guy who spends $65 for a horse armor, okay, is the same guy that's going to buy the next $600 box, right? They know that he's going to buy the next $600 box. So they have to cater to him, right? They have to make a box because someone wants to buy it, right? But they have to have that money, that reoccurring money stream at a certain level where then they don't care anymore, where they say, oh, if you want a box, all right, we'll make the box. I don't care. We'll make the box.
They're still going to make a box. It's just not going to be the same box that we know and want.
But it's like the whole thing with Xbox's hardware is like being in the room where they decided that CDs don't matter anymore. And they're like, I don't need CDs anymore. And you're like, what do you mean I don't CDs anymore? I got a bunch of CDs. Like, and they just start taking your stuff away. I know you don't need the CDs anymore. You just can listen to music now for free. It's the same principle. A guy who had hardware all these years, you tell him he doesn't need hardware anymore.
That's exactly right, though. Think of what you just said is perfect, right? People don't need music anymore. They go to what? Spotify. They go to what? Apple Music. They go to these brands to find the digital places to go, and that's a household name.
Paying for the service.
That's correct, and that's a household name, right? That's what it is. It's on Apple Music. It's on Spotify. That's what it is. They pay for the service. They don't own any of this stuff. It's exactly where Xbox and Microsoft are going with the gaming. Okay, you're going to be saying, oh, it's on Amazon Luna. Oh, it's on Game Pass. It's on PlayStation Plus, right? There's not going to be, it's on PlayStation console. It's not on the PlayStation 6 or 7. It's on PlayStation Plus. It's on PlayStation Server, whatever. It's on the Xbox Game Pass.
I was just trying to spitball, like, if they're gonna just keep saying Game Pass, or they're gonna say Microsoft Game Pass, or whatever the new word's gonna be, but it's not gonna be Xbox. They're gonna stop saying Xbox.
I don't think they have.
I
I don't think they have to say Microsoft Game Pass because everyone knows Xbox is Microsoft, so they could just say Xbox Game Pass, and it's owned by Microsoft.
Maybe, but if all these millions of kids who are growing up with tablets and phones in their hands,
my kid knows,
and they're gonna be playing games only on tablets and phones when they grow up because that's where they're going.
My kid will wreck your world on playing that logo game. He knows all the logos because that's what the kids know. They know the brands of what the stuff is, what it is. See, we're thinking of it as adults, and what they're marketing towards is conditioning younger people.
That's correct.
To comprehend what this is, so when they get to the age of where they're starting to buy games and starting to play,
consumer age,
right?
Yes.
Then it's normal to them. Okay,
That's
to
correct.
us it's foreign. To them it's normal. What it is. All right. I want to switch gears to what IGN did for Suicide Squad. They didn't keep the same energy level for Skull and Bones. Okay,
They were told not to.
and I'll tell you, I'll tell you why I think this is right. So I'm going to read you just a couple of lines of the IGN review of Skull and Bones. Okay, the first one, I'm going to replace two words. Okay, I'm going to replace two words, and you can just fill in the blank. Okay, obviously I just told you it's Skull and Bones review, but you could take this sentence or this little paragraph here and insert any game here. Are you ready?
Sure.
Blank name might not be a blank Man of War from the company and hoping for just yet, but with a strong start to a live service game that's got a year of upcoming content mapped out, it's already quite worthy. Okay, now the actual thing says Skull and Bones might not be the quadruple A game for Man of War Ubisoft was hoping for just yet, but with a strong start to a live service that's got a year upcoming content mapped out, it's already quite seaworthy. Now, mind you, I'm going to continue reading, and then you tell me if that still holds up for what he just said in the very opening of his review, okay? It says, even when these events are working, meaning they're not working, but when they are, even when they are working, the end game is needless grindy in its current state. Skull and Bones doesn't have any nearly enough variety of activities to keep things interesting for very long, and since it costs thousands of gold coins called Pieces of 8 to unlock single items, you're expected to play the whole heck of a lot in a long after campaign has sunk to the bottom of the ocean. There's nothing currently, any quests or enemies in the world that require you to be powerful items to powerful through them, aside from other players being in advantage of PvP. Now, the verdict. Skull and Bones isn't the successor to Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag that many seem to want it to be, and it isn't as many things as Ubisoft itself said it could be in various points of story history. But the seafaring RPG will ultimately got it still surprisingly good, sailing around the Indian Ocean, firing cannons, mortars, and giant ballistics at foes is a fun time. The RPG mechanics and cooperative build crafting is a deep an ocean with plenty of awesome gadgets to grind for. And the economy simulator is impressively in-depth, okay? It doesn't quite fulfill the promise, though, of a decade-long cruise, because it took over 10 years, at the port yet either. And with a thin endgame, meaning no endgame, and almost no story, not almost no story, there is no campaign story, okay, to speak of, and generally is instability, and that sometimes makes the advance feel like it's a rough draft, meaning incomplete, and down the line because it's a live service game. But here's hoping for those shortcomings to be washed away by the waves of content already planned for the coming ambitious live service roadmap and the fast approaching. For now, the maiden voyage of this is a good start, and it gets a 7. Okay? Now, Sea of Thieves, during the video, other people's videos as well, talking about Sea of Thieves, are like, quite boring. All you're doing is going around the sea, okay? And it's the 5 same things over and over and over. Now, IGN said, all you're doing is running on rooftops for Suicide Squad, okay? They just said that there's no end game. There's in Skull and Bones. There's no story. When the events work, there's not many events to do. There's no reason to do the things. And down the road, because they have a roadmap, it looks seaworthy. Meanwhile, Suicide Squad showed 4 seasons of content coming out, just like Skull and Bones. Okay, they have more events to do in the open world. Okay, they have more end game. They got a 5. Because it wasn't Batman. Okay? And this one,
Negative, 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 positive 7. Positive, 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 negative, negative 5. Like it,
Right.
it doesn't even add correctly, right? I told you they needed a 7, so they got a 7.
Well, right. Well, here's the reason, right? Ubisoft comes out with multiple games a year. They're multi-publisher, multi-studio.
And those guys better give me a good score, otherwise you don't get the game.
Right. Rocksteady.
Which is why you're not supposed to get a fucking game. You're supposed to buy the game.
Rocksteady gets a game. The last game they came out with was 9 years ago. Okay. Since the last time they had a game. They had a VR game in between, but 9 years since their last game that wasn't VR. Okay. And obviously, if they blacklisted somebody, their next game is probably coming out in 8 to 9 years. Okay. Ubisoft comes out with 3-4 games a year. Minimum. Okay. You got an Assassin's Creed, you got the Star Wars game, you got the Pandora game, you got so many games from Ubisoft that comes out. So I just think it's funny that they can say it's boring open world, all you're doing is running on rooftops, but they're like, oh, the sea is so great. You just run around and there's 5 events that you can do. And it's like, wait a minute.
But the sea is flat. I'm only on the same plane.
Yeah.
I'm only running around on one plane.
Yeah.
There's no verticality.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that all on the same verticality, the same plane
That's
is
fine.
better than verticality?
Yeah, that's fine.
So if Suicide Squad there's no rooftops, you were just running around like Borderlands, game gets an 8? Is that what you're telling me?
I guess. I don't know.
Make it make sense.
I can't.
Make it make sense.
That's why I'm reading it. And someone says you're giving them a second of your time.
You need a structure for a game review process. Period.
Skill up.
You need a process. It can't just be what I feel today.
Skill Up did a review of Skull and Bones, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was going to go terribly wrong, right? The first 2 minutes of Skill Up's review is he's literally shitting all over Skull and Bones. Okay? But in the
apologizes for the next 20 minutes?
He says in the context, he goes, if you know that Assassin's Creed Black Flag exists, then this game does everything worse than its predecessor. Okay? And he goes into it and rips it. He goes, but if you just play this game as is, he goes, it's actually pretty good. Okay? If you don't compare it to Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
So which means that you didn't need to make Skull and Bones. You just needed to add a DLC to Black Flag and shut the fuck up.
Well, they're actually working on a remastered Black Flag that comes out in like the next 2 to 3 years, right? And the problem with this is, why didn't you just make that in the first place? Why did you redo this one 4 times over 10 years?
Because that wasn't the game that they originally wanted. You know it. I know it. That game
right.
was not the game. That game was not the game that it is today. That game was something else that they were trying something with. They ran out of money. They ran out of time. They ran out of
It was
people,
an obligation the entire time. Yeah, it's an obligation the entire time. So I don't know. I just find it weird that and again, I'm not looking at reviews anymore from IGN. The reason I brought that up is because it's so close to Suicide Squad that came out, and when Suicide Squad came out and they said the end game was better in Avengers Marvel, right, or Marvel's Avengers, I was like,
I think what we should do is get a list of the guys who review for IGN, print them out, do research on all of them. We're going to do research on what they've reviewed,
I'm not doing any of this.
I'm going to review the guys who review games. And I'm going to go through the positive, negatives of each individual and then score them accordingly.
I'm not giving them that much time. They can do what they want. I just thought it was funny because I want the same energy level. That's all. If you say one game is boring because it's got a wide open map and it's boring, right? And Starfield had boundaries that you couldn't go through, and then other games have boundaries. Like, they're all over the place, and they nitpick on certain things, okay? Now, mind you, Skull and Bones is a bad game. Right now, it's not a complete game. It's a bad game. They haven't written 45 articles in the last 30 days about Skull and Bones. Okay, they wrote 45 articles on tweet or on Twitter, okay, and everything else about Suicide Squad, but same live service type of stuff, same high microtransactions, same incomplete game, same no end game, same all stuff. Only it's pirates and Ubisoft instead of Rocksteady, not Batman game.
It's not Batman.
Right. So, going from that.
So once again, it's not okay for studios to try something different, right? They're just supposed to make what the monkey wants, right? Whatever the monkey wants, you got to make the monkey game, right? You can't decide that I made 3 Batman games really awesome and I want to do something else and they want to try something else because they want to put their foot in the live service water. They want to try it out, and this is what they had. And of course the temper tantrum is you get a 5, it's not Batman.
Right. So Sony, I mentioned earlier, had the PSVR 2. They were talking about how they're going to start making that work for some PC games, and they're trying to convert it, which is actually smart for them because. But the problem that I said earlier in my story that I talked about earlier is if they make the PSVR 2, they got to make sure. I mean, they could have an advantage because a lot of the game headsets that you make for the MetaQuest and stuff like that don't work with the consoles. This one works with their console, and then it can also work with PC games. So it's got an advantage of someone that if it's a lower price and can work on both systems, someone might pick that up, and that'll be a good point for Sony. Sony, on the other hand, Sony value reportedly dropped by $10 billion following a disappointing PlayStation financials. Right, the company's share dropped last week following a financial results. While Sony had previously hoped to ship record 25 million PlayStation consoles during the first quarter of this year, ending in March, the last week said during its latest quarterly earnings results that it was now expecting to miss the target by 4 million units. Okay, following the earnings report, Sony share fell 8.4% and closed at 6.5%, partly as a result of revised PlayStation 5 hardware sales forecast, but also partly due to the drop operating margins of Sony gaming business is 6% compared to 9% in December quarter of 2022, which was at 12 to 13% of the years before this. Now, a new report from CNBC in which the new outlets said that there's calculating using a fact set data suggests that the drop in share prices resulted around $10 billion of value being wiped from Sony's stock since the forecast cut. Now, Jeffries, also equally analysts, said that the new shipment forecast wasn't disappointing as a low level of operating margin. Now, they're explaining that the 12-13% over the 4 years, also a current margin of 6%, is extremely disappointing and almost near decades low. So he also says that Sony's margins should have been rising during this period instead of falling, which, given that there is a various tailwinds that should have driven up the margins towards 20%, but such increase of digital game sales as Sony PS Plus services, which is also the margin, is around 50%. And they said the revenue of the digital sales add to the content digital downloads are at an all-time high, but yet their margins are decades low, and this is just not acceptable, right? So Sony right now is struggling. And I know fanboys, and again, I don't bleed one side or the other.
Are they talking about just the gaming division? Or are they talking about Sony across the board,
No.
like all their electronic equipment and TVs and all that other kind of stuff?
The gaming division.
Okay, but let's please factor in that everyone was trapped in their house for 2 years. Everyone went back to work. Of course, sales are going to drop off, right? Of course they are. But if we're talking about product sales for annual residuals, and you look at the year before COVID, and then I look at this year that just passed that had no COVID, and I compare those two numbers, I guarantee you they had an increase, a normal increase of growth during that period of time. You can't go from one extreme to the other and then throw your hands in the air and go, it's Armageddon. We're not 10 billion lost. Like, well, if 10 billion lost means you didn't sell as much stuff as you did before, and we know why.
Right.
Not because of your company's a piece of crap now. No. It's because people stopped buying your stuff in the numbers that they did. It's not hard.
Yeah, but they said that their digital downloads are all-time high, but yet their margins are decades low.
Yeah, well, your margins because your costs are high because of inflation, and you still have to pay your people the same amount of money.
Right.
Of course your fucking margins are smaller.
So this is why, though, they're deciding big time now. A big shift is happening.
I mean, why does everyone talk like we don't understand how reality works? Why does the gaming industry write an article and they make it sound like everything's abstract, like we don't understand why those things are happening? Like, how do you write an article like that? Do you write an article saying, well, I'm about to write to a bunch of monkeys and they don't know anything, so I'm going to just say a bunch of stuff and make people fear and go crazy about how a company may or may not be here in the next 6 months just in case they have stock and they don't know why they have the stock, so let's just make everyone terrified about everything. That's the best way to write an article. Instead of saying, due to these factors, due to the increase of this, right. And this is why. No, headline, $10 billion lost. Sony's in trouble. Like, no. Yeah. Fucking no.
Well, I think the industry is seeing the margins, and this is why I think they're going to go in the next year or so, I think they're going to go day and date. And Helldivers selling well on PC. It just shows that as well. Microsoft moving their stuff over to third party. This is where this is where they get their margins bigger, because they're going to get them out to more people to get more money, right? It's no longer where Xbox is Xbox and Sony is Sony and Nintendo is Nintendo. They're all jockeying for position. How many people can play our game, because they don't care if you play a game for 1 minute or if you play it for 100 hours, right? They just need you to purchase the game. They just need you to purchase the game. Most people don't even finish games now, Sarge.
I'm gonna have to get my facts straight over the next week and do a little rebuttal. But I was told not too long ago that gaming had the most profitable year ever.
Yeah, it did.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Gaming in general, the industry itself had the most profitable year ever. And we're not in COVID. And so my question to you is, either the gaming industry is doing well, or the people in the gaming industry currently, because they were doing so well for so long, which is also true, that they no longer know how to budget accordingly.
Well,
because apparently the studios that makes games and sells games are fine, but the conglomerates who are trying to chase the cheese everywhere it goes have to fire hundreds of thousands of people over the last 2 years because they can't get a game to sell, or they're paying too much. Like, how do you not know? These companies didn't just start.
Right.
Activision just didn't start.
They've been around
Bungie
for
didn't
30
just
years.
start.
Yeah.
Like, you guys have been around. You know how much it costs to make a game, factoring in plus and minus 20% influxes, in problems, whatever else. And during that time, we got rid of everything plastic, everything disc,
right.
Everything promotional. There's no book, there's no box, there's no disc. So 30% more revenue is going to you for selling the game at the same price it was, and then you raised it $10, right? Which means you're getting a 35% increase into your revenue because you're not making a physical product, it's only digital. And somehow they are just have to fire more people, and we're spending too much money. How many cars and boats do you guys need, right? Because it's blatantly obvious that you guys don't know how to handle it. Bungie is the quintessential company to look at for not knowing how to spend money.
Yeah, we have a story about that.
I'm waiting to see what Bungie's rebuttal and promotional material are going to be for Marathon, because they have to have everybody in on Marathon. Everybody's got to be in on a Marathon. I can't wait to see the promotional material. It'll be like watching 17 Super Bowl commercials in a row when Bungie starts advertising for Marathon, which I wouldn't touch with stolen hands.
Okay, well, let's talk about Sony and continue to talk about Sony a little bit here. Right, Sony president wants Bungie to do better, assuming accountability for development timelines. I love this. I had to talk about this on my morning show, Sarge. Remember all those years ago when I said Bungie's the problem? Everyone's like, no, it was Microsoft. That's why they left Microsoft.
Fucking Bungie,
and then I went, Bungie's the problem. They went, no, Activision's the problem. And then they left Activision, and now they're over here, and now they're with Sony, and everyone's like, no. It's Sony's fault. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, how many people, like, the people out there that defend this must be getting cheated on left and right and not knowing. They're like, no, she just did it once. Don't worry about it. It's not her fault. She was drunk that evening, right? So Hiroki Totoki says there's room for improvement from the business perspective at the Destiny Studios. Hiroki Totoki. It's the best name. Yeah, it's the best name.
Can I get a spelling on that?
Hiroki Totoki. Okay, Hiroki. It's Hiroki and then Totoki.
It just pause over that on the
Hiroki Totoki.
Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
Okay. During a Q&A session following Sony's latest financial results briefing, Totoki asked the update on Bungie, and they were whether they had the initiative planned to studio in the next fiscal year. Totoki replied, while he was impressed with Bungie's ability to, as a video game developer, he felt that it could make improvements from business perspectives. He says, quote, I visited Bungie Studios and had a meeting with the management, and he said, and I saw the employees working on the studio were highly motivated, showing great creativity as well as impressive knowledge of live service. He continues to saying, however, I did feel there was room for improvement from a business perspective with regards of the areas such as and use of business expenses assuming accountability for development timelines, and I hope to continue the dialogue for upcoming some good solutions. Now, what that says is the upper management's having problems, which I said for years that they had major problems with budget, and they didn't know how to spend money. They were just blowing money left and right. When someone tells me that you buying more microtransactions in the Eververse store created the next event that came out, that's not how game design works, right? Like, they're developing these things months and years before.
I didn't even want to humor that discussion we had from the time period when that came out. I wanted to slap everybody that kept saying that's the reason why. I want to slap you in the face,
right?
Like literally slap you in the face. If I meet you in person, I'm slapping you in the face for 20.
You had to buy the microtransactions to get the dungeon that we got. Like, they literally budgeted like in a normal world, the money they made from Destiny 1 paid for Destiny 2. Right? Not the microtransactions in Destiny 2 paid for Destiny 2. That's fucking idiotic. Okay? It's almost as idiotic as selling your company off or signing a deal with someone and saying that if we don't hit this certain thing, we'll sell off the company to you. Right? Like, who signs that contract? Someone that doesn't know fucking business. Right? They probably have like a $14,000 espresso machine in there. They probably had like a massage therapist in there. They had like a knitting company in there. Yeah,
they talked about their studio. They
have a personal chef in there, right? Hiroki Totoki, as he's eating a steak from the personal chef that's there, he's like, yeah, they could spend their money a little bit better. This steak's undercooked, and this guy's getting paid way too much money. What's he doing here? Right?
What is this, horse?
There's a Chipotle right down the street.
This meat tastes like horse. You guys better up your game. You call yourselves AAA studio.
Like, so I just think it's funny, man. I think it's funny that when you say something, look, this seems wrong, that they keep raising the prices and charging more and more, right? The game's getting too big. We have to sunset stuff. We have to send more because we just can't, too many light bulbs to switch. We need more stuff. Right. It's just a bunch of bullshit just left and right. Upper management has bad management. Upper management's bad. They need to get rid of upper management. You can save a fortune on upper management because they get more money than the people that you fired from the company, like the security team. Okay, you only need like the community managers,
the guy in charge, the guy in between the devs and the devs. That's it. You don't need anybody else, right? Because these guys don't know how to talk to the boss. You need an in-between you need a mediary. That's all it always is. The nerds on the floor can't always talk to the guy at the top, so you need an intermediary. That's fine. But the rest of these fucking guys, what are you guys doing? What's going on? Like, how many directors do you need? How many things? How many? Like, what's happening? Are you making a game? Is there a blueprint? Show me the blueprint. No, there's no blueprint. We're just winging it. What's happening? Right? 6 years, 7 years. Repeat. Like,
did you?
Where's the money? Point the finger anywhere else. I'm gonna spin my chair, and because I lost 12 billion, whoever I point to, it's their fault. That's it. It's never me.
It's like my kid when I'm like, why is this like that? I don't know. I didn't do it. Like, what do you mean? It's only you and me in the room, and I didn't do it. So somebody had to do it, right? Did you see the video on my stream in the morning when Grenader Jake was talking about Bungie and how he would fund out of his own pocket a dedicated person to help with PvP? Did you hear this?
I applaud him for saying it.
Oh, I think it's fucking fantastic.
However, you know as well as I do, they don't care.
No, I know they don't care. But the fact that this content creator, okay, who's been playing Destiny and he made his career based off of Destiny, he makes enough money that he actually said that I will fund it myself to make this game better. I will hire somebody and pay them out of my own pocket so it's not coming out of, which is such an insult because he knows that Destiny doesn't have, or Bungie doesn't have the money to afford it. He's like, I'll give you the money to hire somebody so they can do this job so everyone that's playing PvP has a better experience, right? Which is just such a smack in the face. I loved it. I was just like, this is brilliant, right? And of course, they're not going to, Sony will be like, wait a minute, did this guy just offer you money to hire a position that would make the game better and you guys don't have that? Like, what's happening right now, right?
Did they make their game for Tencent or NetEase yet? Did they make their game yet? I don't hear about it. Did they make their game yet?
No,
they've been working on it for 8 years. What's the game that they owe Tencent to?
Or no, it's NetEase. Is it NetEase? Yeah, they took $100 million. They took $100 million. I don't know what it is.
What game is it? I'm waiting.
Isn't that the mobile game? Wasn't it a mobile game? I don't know.
I'm waiting to see Bungie.
I have no idea.
Bungie's biblical mobile game that's coming out for NetEase. I got to see it. I got to. All this time spent, studio made, steaks eaten, cars bought. I want to see this. I want to see this game.
Yeah, it's matter, but does it matter? That's the question. Does it matter, Dupless? It's matter. When I say I don't know, I just don't know. Like, I don't know. Nintendo Direct was yesterday, and Nintendo Direct showed a bunch of different stuff. It wasn't first-party titles at all. It was all partner program type of stuff. The first thing they came out with, Microsoft announced that they're doing Grounded, which I think Grounded is a perfect fit for Nintendo Switch, for kids and stuff like that. It's a great game. That's coming over to Switch. But one of the games that they showed, Sarge, that people were like kind of blown away by, and no one was expecting this, right? I've been saying for years, I think they're working on a Battlefront 3. Well, apparently they're not. Apparently, they've been working on Star Wars Battlefront 1-2 collection, classic collection of the original 2004-2005, which I'm excited for. I'm excited for. They added new maps. They added new characters. They've done a lot of stuff to this game.
Tell you what, when it's $5,
it's $35.
When it's $5,
yeah.
When it's $5, we're gonna play the original one because it's supposed to have better graphics, right?
I don't know if it's got better graphics. It looks like it does have better graphics.
It better have better graphics.
I don't know if it has better graphics. It does look like it has better graphics.
Well,
though.
we're gonna play the first one, and we're gonna do the snow speeder thing run against the AT-AT.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's got 64-player multiplayer.
I'm not rebuying this game to give EA any fucking money.
They're giving you 20% discount.
I don't give a shit. EA can't make a fucking game to save your life, so the best they got is to reach into the crevice of their ass.
It's not EA. Hold on, Sarge. It's not EA. It's not EA.
Oh, who is it? Who decided they wanted free money?
Aspire's doing it. Aspire did the game. EA did no. EA no. Stop. EA did not own the rights to Battlefronts 2004-2005. EA got. It was New Radical, I believe, if it was the original people, but they're not.
Disney lose the license? They don't have it anymore, so anyone can make the game?
No, Disney has the license. They own Star Wars.
Yep.
The company that made this originally doesn't exist anymore. Okay.
Yep.
Or Pandemic, I think it was, not New Radical.
Yep.
It was Pandemic. So they reached out to Aspire, and Aspire redid the game. And so what they did was they added 2 new Jedis. They added Kit Fisto and Ventress. They added new maps. They added a whole bunch of stuff to the game. Go ahead. Time out. Go ahead.
So who did they give money to so they could take the Star Wars games and manipulate it?
They would have to give it to Disney because Disney owns the rights to Star Wars.
Okay, so then that means Disney.
Lucas. They would have to give it to Lucas because Lucas is the one that published this when it came out.
No worries. So then this company decided they're going to look down for the change in the seats. They went over to Disney because Disney needs money, and they said, "Hey, we want to buy the license to do Battlefront."
There you go.
Do absolutely nothing with it except add 2 characters and a map.
Six maps.
And for us to make a bunch of money off it, that's genius. It's genius to do nothing.
They actually added a lot of stuff to it. Here's what I think is going to happen. Right. I think people are going to buy the shit up out of this. I think this is going to be
because there's no first-person shooter game that actually fucking works.
Bro,
that's why. Call of Duty sucks. Battlefield sucks. No Battlefront game. Yeah, that's how that works.
They're going to sell a shit ton of these. More people will be playing this than the actual Battlefront 2 game that's out now, which is a fantastic game. Okay, but yeah, that's what's happening right now with Disney. Disney needs the money, and they're like, what can we do for the least amount of money for the biggest bang for the buck? And they're like, well, we could throw about $50,000 into this game that's 20 years old, 22 years old, something like that. Or 20 years old. Okay. And they redid it. Look, I like it. I'm a little mad because I own it for PlayStation and I can't use that game to play with this, but they're opening up the servers again. They closed the servers down like 6 years ago, right? So now the servers are back open. March 14th it comes out. I think it's cool, but I just think it's funny out of nowhere. I was like, wait a minute, a Battlefront, right? So on top of that, there's another Star Wars game being in the works by Respawn. Okay, Respawn, they made Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order. They made those games, right? They made Apex Legends. They make the Battlefront. Well, not the Battle. DICE makes the Battlefront, but Vince Zampella, that worked for Respawn, moved over. But now there's rumors about a Mandalorian game, a first-person shooter Mandalorian game coming out, which we heard rumors back in the past.
Third person. Come on, man.
Well, it's first person.
Mandalorian, fucking third person, bro.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so that's coming out as well. So Star Wars is trying to hit on all cylinders, right? And it's a shame because Survivor is probably one of the better stories. Fallen Order is a really good story for the Star Wars series. Movies and stuff not doing very well. They're trying to capitalize on this Battlefront series again. I just think it's funny. Why, instead of paying for Battlefront 1 and 2, why don't they just put money more towards the newest one and add more characters in that game? Why wouldn't they add a conquest in that game? Why are they going backwards?
Because it makes easy money. It's
I know.
Easy money.
I know.
Listen, the studio that's doing it, do we even know who they are? What else do they
Aspire? Yeah, Aspire's been out there for a while. They've been...
What else do they do?
Here, let me look it up for a second.
What other companies have they stolen a game from and modified and sold themselves? What else have they done?
Is it Aspire? Yeah, Aspire.
Money. Thank you, El Nini. It's fucking money. Hey, guys, let's get together. You guys aren't doing anything right. You're divorced. You want a new car. You want your new gold boat. Why don't we get our money together, put a mortgage on our house? We'll go over to Lucas because they need money, and we'll say, hey, why don't you give us the Lucasfilm titles, and we're gonna want your Battlefront game, and we'll spoof it up and we'll sell it for you, and we'll make some money. How about that?
They made a Tomb Raiders 1, 2, and 3 remastered. They did Star Wars Knights. They did Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. They did Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. They did Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic: The Sith Lord. They did Myth Force. Myth Force is actually looked like a pretty fun game. And now they're doing the rehash of Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, the classic collection.
It's like developer chop shop is what this is.
I mean, they have a lot of Star Wars titles. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm happy that at least someone who knows how to fix a Star Wars game is fixing this Star Wars game. That's fine. It's great.
I just think they should have taken the time, hired staff, and put more content inside the Star Wars Battlefront 2 game that's out now.
Just make the game that it is better. Take two, make it better. Put all the maps in. Put all the battles in. Put everything in. Put everything in the game. All the battles, the real battles, the made-up battles. Just put them in.
Like all you had to
make it better. The graphics are enhanced. Make it 64 versus 64. Make it like Hell Let Loose, a little bit more tactical, a little bit more fun. But do something. Make a game.
I'm probably gonna get the Star Wars Classic Collection when it comes out March 14th because I love that game. My son's ecstatic about it. He's every time he goes home,
I'll get it for the summer sale when it's $10. All
right. Okay.
Not rebuying the. We can play it right now, bro. We can load up.
I know.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PC right now while we do the damn podcast. We can actually play the damn game.
True, we could. Elden Ring, Shadows of I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it Edtree? It's the DLC that's come out. It looks awesome. And it's almost as big as the original game. And they said that they're not making a sequel to Elden Ring, at least not yet. And the DLC is almost like a sequel, basically. It's a giant DLC that's coming out. That's coming out June 21st, I believe. And that looks really fun. So Elden Ring fans, I think we might have Game of the Year when Elden Ring's expansion comes out. And it'll probably take the throne away from ongoing game from Cyberpunk at the Video Game Awards show later this year. Another thing, Warframe is finally on mobile after 11 years, right? So people always argued with me.
You could play Warframe on your phone.
Yes. Yep. So people argue with me all the time. Nobody wants to play on a mobile phone, and that's fine from us old folks that don't want to look at a small screen. But the other 3 billion people on planet Earth that don't give a shit about the screen size or where they're playing, if it's at the dentist's office, on the subway, while they're walking across the street, while they're, whatever, okay? Warframe is now on mobile devices, so it's everywhere. It's on iOS. It's going to be on Android version later this year. It's been out for 11 years. And what I love about Warframe is everyone always says that Destiny knows how to do live service. Nobody else is out there doing live service correctly. Meanwhile, Warframe came out before Destiny, and here it is right alongside Destiny, and yet now you can play it on mobile. I just think it's funny. A lot of people forget about certain games, right? Oh, that's the thing I wanted to bring up for Helldivers. Did you know Starship Troopers, the movie, is going through the roof now because of Helldivers, not because of Starship Troopers game? Okay, everyone's talking about Helldivers. They're like, dude, this is the greatest. This is like a Starship Troopers game. I'm like, you do know there's a Starship Troopers game, right? Like there's an actual Starship Troopers game on Steam right now that you can play. It's actually really fun. Of course, it's a different fun. It's 16 players on a map working together, okay? And you're going up against the Starship Troopers like you did in the movies, okay? And yet people are like, Helldivers, the Starship Trooper game we really wanted. It's like, you know there's a I keep getting fucking Suicide Squad. You know there's a Starship Troopers game out, and you can buy it. It's fucking amazing to me, right? Okuda Papa says, what? Don't you have a phone? Thank you very much for the $2 super chat. So I just think it's funny that people are like, Destiny knows how to do a live service game. Meanwhile, Warframe is older than Destiny by 1 year, okay? And yet they're here.
And they haven't gone bankrupt 3 times.
Right. They haven't moved there. They're self-publishing.
Yeah. They haven't gone and moved in with someone, then told them to go fuck themselves, and then steal this guy's house, and then leave, and then move into this guy. Like, they just had the same company the entire time.
Right, the entire time. There's Sea of Thieves coming to PlayStation 5, Hi-Fi Rush coming to PlayStation 5. Dead Island 2 is now on Game Pass. I was correct. I can't find the clip, but I remember when we first looked at Dead Island 2, I was like, that'll be on Game Pass within a year. 10 months on Game Pass. They just shadow dropped it onto Game Pass yesterday. Final Fantasy Online open beta now available for Xbox Series X and S. A lot of people, a lot of media are saying that, well, you got to pay for a monthly subscription. You got to pay $12, $13 for the subscription, and you got to pay $10 for Game Pass. First of all, if you're on Xbox, you probably already have Game Pass, okay? Because you have to have Game Pass now to play online. Unless you're playing Fortnite.
They mash it together.
Right. You have to have it to play online, unless you're playing like Fortnite and like one other game, okay? But everything else, you have your pay $10, $15, or $18 to play on Game Pass, okay? Final Fantasy's on here. The trial, the way it's worded, free trial, right? Like, people look at that and go, well, no, once you're done with the free trial, then you have to pay the $23. What they don't tell you is the free trial charge is like 500 hours. Okay? 500 hours. Just to put that in perspective, there's people that buy video games for $70, $100, and they put about 5 hours in, and then they put the game down. Okay? Final Fantasy 14 is on Game Pass. Okay? And you can go up to level 70 and play 500 hours worth of content with the base game and 2 expansions. And everyone's like, well, they're asking for the $23 though if you like it afterwards. And I'm like, if you put 500 hours in and you're like, well, I don't want to pay $23 to continue playing, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, that's 500 hours of the content. So the free trial is a little weird because they say free trial, but you don't have to pay the monthly subscription and Game Pass. You can literally play just Game Pass, which has. What do you mean to when? Forever.
When does this happen?
Oh, Final Fantasy? It's in beta right now until it comes later out this year.
Okay.
But you could play, even when the game fully comes out.
I can't play Final Fantasy yet.
You can. No, you can. It's in beta right now.
So I can play the beta version.
It's the full game. It's just beta.
It's out.
Yes.
Stop using the stupid words.
I mean,
I'm
reading what they say, Sarge.
Can I play Final Fantasy 14 on my Xbox?
Yes. And then when you're done playing the beta, you can move on over to the full launch of the game. But the trial is there. Dude says there's no dangerous weapons. There's only dangerous men. Starship Troopers. There you go. So, another game that's coming out, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This is a hit or miss for me.
Listen. It could be Friday the 13th.
Yes,
or it could be RoboCop. We don't know.
Well, no, it's a game like Friday the 13th, made by the same people that made Friday the 13th.
This is what I'm saying. Fun factor and stability.
Right. It could be as popular as Among Us, or it could be as popular as Pal World, or it could be bombed and do absolutely nothing. Yeah,
but only like 4% of the people who even know what that fucking movie is didn't understand what the game is.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Is anybody who in chat push a 1 if you know what Killer Clowns from Outer Space is?
Killer Clowns.
You actually know what they are.
It comes out June 4th. Okay, comes out June 4th. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, game releasing June 4th, offering 3 vs. 7 gameplay format to exciting horror experience inspired by the cult classic movie. The game that features unique clown classic citizens fighting back to Crescent's Cove, and then also highly stylized visuals of the 80s nostalgic should help Killer Clowns apart itself from other multiplayer horror games. I mean, it does look good. It does. I mean, it looks like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I'm interested on how this game is going to play.
Yeah, see, I'm looking at the people who pressed 1. They're all the old guys. That's the only people who know this is. Who know what this is. It's all the old guys. That's the only reason why you know what this is.
Yeah. So this game comes out. I hope it does well. I don't know if it will do well. Argus says only heard the name before, nothing else. It's such a shitty good movie.
You have to understand that the 80s decade was people made movies about anything, and they were given money to try to make a movie about anything. So you ended up with B movies up the wazoo. So some stuck, some sucked, and some became cult classics. I can't explain it. Like, they don't do that stuff now. I'm gonna look up something real fast. If you play a cheesy 80s rift, I can probably tell you the cheesy 80s movie it came from. Like, that's how many movies there were back then.
Okay, the movie came out in 1988. Okay. This is how bad it did in movies, okay? The original movie came out. How much money do you think it made in theaters, Sarge?
What year came out? 80s?
88.
Probably like 800,000.
It made $352.
Like, made? Wait,
300. That's
did you cut out?
No.
Did you cut out? I heard 350,000.
350. Oh, you guys can't see it. $352.
No, dude.
That's what it says on box. Maybe they didn't keep track of it back then, right?
Come on, dude.
Well, I can do inflation, and we can figure it out with.
Come on, dude. Come on, dude.
300.
That's like one theater, one night.
I think that's what it did. I think it was just in one theater.
Dude.
Yeah, it was in one theater for one night.
And come on, dude.
Yeah, that's what it did. It made 300.
Just stop. No movies like that, dude. No movie just made $300. Come on, dude.
I'm gonna look up something else. Maybe it says something else. Hold on, let me see.
Like 30 grand. I can see 30 grand, but not 300. Come on, dude.
300.
That's ridiculous, dude.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
That's just nonsense.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Okay, here. This is better. Okay, it made. This is the actual price because Box Office Mojo didn't keep track of it. Okay,
thank you.
It made $43 million.
Thank you.
43 million.
That's a lot in the 80s, bro.
Yeah, $43 million. Well, this is what I wanted to bring up because I thought it made about
that's
that
a lot
much.
of money in the 80s.
Well, this is what I wanted to bring up. So I'm gonna do a little conversion ratio here. Okay, what is it? Conversion 43 million in 1988 to now. Okay, so that would be $114 million now. Okay,
medium movie.
So
mid-ground movie.
So I think it made more than the Marvels.
It's a mid-ground movie.
Yeah. So just put it in perspective. Yeah, and the budget was nothing. The budget for that movie was absolutely nothing for it. So I just think it's a good shitty movie, right? It's a really fun movie. It's a fun horror flick. Right? And I think the video game could be the same type of capture of what it is.
Yes, like Ghoulies and Critters and Puppet Master.
Yep. Yeah,
all those kind of crazy movies. The Troll.
Let's see. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Budget. Now, think about this, right? It made $43 million. It probably cost them $50,000, right?
Probably $1 million.
$1 million $1.8 is what it made.
Yep.
Right. So they 43 times. Right, so just marketing and whatnot, $3 million, and it made $43 million. That's a successful movie, and that's a shitty movie back in 1988. Right now, movies are like video games. $300 million movie budget comes out and makes $100 million. Everyone's like, it's the greatest movie ever made. It's like it lost 200. It lost $200 million. You know what? You know which one I always hated? The Leprechaun. The leprechaun was like the one that was like right. That's what it was called. The leprechaun, the one that was killing people in the mall because they were stealing his pot of gold. Right? It was called Leprechaun. Or am I
there's
thinking?
Leprechaun.
Or am I thinking of the other? There's another one. There's a bunch
There's
of
Troll. There's Troll.
Maybe
there's
it's Troll.
Leprechaun.
Oh, what's that movie? What's the movie? It just popped in my head. Where the kid's at home and the portal to hell opens up in his backyard. Which one is that?
That could be House.
Is that it? House?
Could be House or House 2.
From the 80s.
Pumpkinhead, maybe.
No, House. No, that's. Chat, you guys know what I'm talking about?
Leprechaun.
Like there's like little devils that come out of the backyard and he's got to fight them off. He's just a kid by himself in his house with his friend, and like portal of hell opens up. And
no idea.
I'm gonna have to figure this out.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Someone in chat knows what I'm talking about. No, it wasn't Critters. It's not Critters. Critters is a completely different film.
You know, a long time ago when I used to watch Puppet Master a lot, I did collect all the dolls. And I sold them all. Yeah, I sold them all.
I don't remember that stage. Was that your goth stage? Here's Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
A goth stage? I was never goth.
I know. It was jokes. Here's the actual what the game looks like. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It looks like Friday the 13th. I don't want to put the music on or anything like that because they'll hit me for copyright claim or some shit. So it looks exactly like Friday the 13th. I wouldn't be surprised if they use the same textures and whatnot. But what really sticks out is the clowns. Look at them.
Look up the movie The Gate, bro. Chat's saying that the movie you're watching was The Gate.
That's it. I think that's what it is, Rose. I'll look it up in a second. Yeah, so Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You're running around three clowns versus 7 people. Okay, and you're running around. They have to capture you in the cotton candy eggs that they're going to be putting you up, and it looks like a good time. It looks like a Friday the 13th meets 7 Days to Die. Yeah, that's it. As soon as you said it, The Gate, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. Yeah, I think this looks fun. This would be a fun game to play. Obviously, hopefully it gets picked up and it's popular on Twitch. And a lot of people play it. This looks like a fun.
It should come out during Halloween.
Well, no, it's coming out in June. It's not coming out in Halloween. It's coming out over the summer.
Yeah, well, they should delay it.
No. That's a good time to release this type of game because that's when most kids are going to be home and playing the game through the summer, and you got to get people on board right away. This is not going to last very long. So there you go. Pre-order now, February 21st, coming June 4th, Killer Clowns. So looks interesting, looks fun. Obviously, it's just a fun little game. It's not supposed to be a game that you put like 1,000 hours in and whatnot. Maybe they have some good progression system in there. I don't know.
Altered States, good one, Brain.
What do you say?
Altered States.
Oh, Altered States. So here's the next story I want to talk about, Sarge, is EA.
I'm out.
EA with sports and stuff, right? So me and Water were having a conversation a couple weeks ago, and I didn't know about this new thing that happened 2 years ago because I really stopped watching sports and stuff a couple years ago. And they have the thing called the NIL, which is a organization that helps the college players get their likeness and stuff, and they can start selling merchandise and basically pick up what they couldn't do in the past because you couldn't pay a sports athlete in college because you could bribe them for doing certain things to come to your school and whatnot. Well, now they have this organization that does it, and EA is coming out with college football. Okay, so on Thursday, EA Sports announced that all 134 football teams will feature in the new game, allowing more than 11,000. That's a big word there. Allowing 11,000 players to opt in for inclusion. And players on the FBS teams can opt in to be a part of the video game as early as today, Thursday. Isn't that nice of them, right? So it says the players who are in-game will be compensated, allowing college athletes to receive money for being part of the video game for the first time. Now, the student athletes who approve to be named, image, and likeness appear in the game will receive, let's play a little game, Sarge. How much money do you think they will offer each and every single college football player across the board? How much do you think they're going to make?
Oh, how many colleges? All over the colleges? All of them?
All colleges, all 11,000 players. How much do you think they're
Oh, they're going to lowball. They're going to lowball them. They're going to lowball them. Now the problem is how insulting a low ball.
How it's EA. Think
That's
EA.
right? EA.
Gotta think EA.
So
Low ball.
what would I give a college student so I could use their name and likeness forever, and I get to make money off them? And I'm EA. How big a dick can I have to be?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. How much of a dick could EA be?
$300.
That's you load ball the low ball. Okay. They're
$300 per kid.
They're giving $600.
Oh.
Wait for it. And a copy of the game.
Oh, yeah, all right.
So they're giving out 11,000 copies. Okay. Now here's the funny part. Okay. That's not the funny part. The $600 is not the funny part. Okay. Once a player opts in, they won't have to do this again to be included in the future games over the college career. Okay. Which means that they only get paid once of the $600.
No, they should get paid $600 a year, maybe.
Yeah, but that doesn't say that. Okay.
Of course it doesn't.
Although they can opt out of lending their name and image and likeness that appearing in the future editions of the game. Okay. Players who opt not to be included in the game will be replaced by a generic avatar. Okay. Similar to how Barry Bonds was.
Which by today's standards will be a black woman who has Asian eyes playing football.
Right. Was portrayed in MLB's video game. EA Sports is using strengths and weaknesses of the program over the last decade to determine overall ratings of players who aren't in the game. Now, hold on a second. There's more. There's more. Okay. Players who want to be in the game are being encouraged to opt in through the League Fields Competence NIL, and they have the app by April 30th. Now, one team partner, okay, will handle the players' licensing for the game. Now, it says, now players who are in the EA College Football 2025 might not look entirely like themselves because face scans for individual players won't be available for this year's version of the game. Okay, so let me read this again to you now in a full story. So they want all the college kids to opt in. They'll give you $600 and a copy of the game so they have your likeness in the video game. So they can put the game out this year to have nobody look like themselves because they're all going to look generic because they didn't have the time to scan in the players' faces. Now, think about this for a second. EA knew when they were releasing the game. They know when they're releasing the game. They know how long it should take to scan people's faces in, okay? And yet, they're not going to scan anyone's faces in because they just don't have time, right? So they're selling you a game with the likenesses of people that don't look like them at all because they're going to have generic faces for the first year because they just don't have time for that. So people are going to go out and spend full price to play a college game that's licensed by college to use the likenesses of these players to pay them the $600. By the way, it's $6.6 million, okay, just to put towards players that will not be in the game this year. And this will sell like fucking hotcakes. Why? Because they're the only people that have the license of the NCAA, okay, to have a football game, okay? And I said to Water in chat, you want to support a game because if you're going to play a game that has generic names in it and generic looks, the people that make Legend Bowl, which is the 8-bit football game that I played on this channel, okay, they're also making a college edition of that game that comes out this year as well, okay? You can edit all the characters. And because it's 8-bit, it doesn't matter what they fucking look like, but you can name all the players all you want of all the teams if you really wanted to, and that costs probably $30. Okay? Maybe $30? It could be 10. I don't even know. Okay? And that is a better football game than Madden football. I'm telling you right now. Okay? So people are going to buy this game, and it's going to sell like hotcakes, and people are going to be like, well, I can't wait for Angry Joe to review it just so he can yell at the camera because they have the likenesses of the people that they're going to scan their faces in, but they're not going to be all in the game because they don't have time for that game, but they want to make sure they sell that game and sell you on the game based on the stuff that people are going to get in, but just not this year. I really hope they change the stadiums from when the last time the game was in here, and it doesn't say like 2004 NCAA football in the background because I will laugh my ass off if that happened. Okay, I will laugh my ass off. So, football coming back. EA, they got you. They got you by the balls. Here's a shocker, Sarge. I know you don't want to talk anything about EA, so here's a game that you might like. You might like it, but you might not like it. Here we go. Made by Konami. Way forward. And you played this game, I forget, hundreds, if not thousands of hours with this game. Okay? This is Contra. Okay? Contra's coming back out. It looks pretty good. Okay? I don't know if I could do it, personally. I just can't. I'm having flashbacks. I would rather play a different game that's based off of this than a remake of this game. You know what I mean? Dead silent for Sarge. Okay. I think the graphics are good. They added a girl. So there you go. Because, you know, Contra. I always said we should have a girl. Because the two base characters were based off Rambo and Arnold. It was Sylvester Stallone and Arnold. That's what they were based off of originally. So I just think it's funny.
All right, so before the up down Konami code,
that better work, by the way.
Listen, no, but it took me probably 6 months. Honestly, it took me 6 months to finish the game without cheating. Like to memorize, everybody came out to know where you had to stand, the gun to have at the right time. Like it literally took me 6 months to solve that game without cheating. Right, and I did it after I put the Konami code in and ran around like a crazy person. Right. But I did finish it with the original lives because you know how many lives you can get by playing.
I finished this game without dying 3 times in a row. Like when you die or when you finish the game, you go back to the start and play it again.
Well, you go back to the start of the level, you got 3 continues.
Right. I never died. I went through 3. I went 3 times around.
Oh, you're talking about you solved it 3 times.
Yeah, without dying.
In a row, yeah, because there's a harder version. Yeah.
Right, so Contra's coming back out. I think it's a little pricey. I think it's like $35 or $40 for this. And I don't know. Would you pay $40? Chat, would you pay $40 for this?
No. The answer is no.
I don't think I would because I've played this. Right? I mean, it's 4-player arcade mode, cool. It looks like 2 chicks, 2 dudes. Okay. Dustin says yes. 76 says no. DT says no.
I mean, you know how difficult it is to play 2-player? You're telling me I can play this 4-player now?
Yeah, that's 4-player.
On the screen where you jump up and the level has to move up, do you know how many times you can kill your friends?
Oh.
From just jumping up and just killing them all? Like, remember that? Remember that fucking nut job thing we used to do?
What game did you like better, Sarge? Did you like Contra or did you like oh god. The top down
the two Jeeps.
No, not the 2 Jeeps. What was what's that game called?
Contra with vehicles was called Jackal.
No, that's not the game I'm talking about.
All right, go ahead.
You were a red character and a blue character, top down. You worked together. I forget what it was. You moved the screen up. It was going toward not Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus is different. Damn it. I forget what the game was called.
Well, from top down?
It was a top down.
Life Force was both ways, though. Life Force was left to right and top down. Life Force. R-Type was by yourself.
I don't think it's Life Force. I remember. Was it
Konami? Was it Konami?
Akari Warriors? Is that what it was?
Akari Warriors was Konami.
Akari Warriors, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, that's a red and a blue guy.
Yeah. I think that's
that game was the most annoying.
That's what. So that's what I'm saying. Which one did you like better, Akari Warriors or Contra?
No contest. Contra, no contest.
Yeah, it's Akari Warriors. I know what it is. Yeah.
Did you know that game was so glitchy and broken that most people broke the game with a hammer before they finished it because there was that secret level you had to find in order to actually win the game, and sometimes if you didn't activate it correctly, you couldn't win the game.
Yeah,
just by you saying the name, I hear the song in my head. I want to punch the wall right now.
This is the game I'm talking about right here. Akari Warriors.
I want to punch the wall right now. I can hear the song in my head. I hate you right now. I hate you.
Yeah. Red and blue. You played this game. This game was so fucking frustrating. You were the tanks. You got out. You shot. Oh my god.
But after you died, you just did ABBA, and you continued ABBA, and you continued ABBA, and you continued.
This was top gaming back in 1980, 88, 86.
I hated this game so bad. When I finally finished it, and I finished it the real way, and I actually got the credits, I never played it again.
I don't think I've ever finished it. I don't think I've ever finished that game.
The last level has the guy behind the news desk. It looked like a guy behind the news desk.
Oh,
I
as soon as you say it, I remember you doing it. I don't think I did it though. I don't remember ever beating that game.
Yeah.
Is that the game you tomahawked the controller into the ground for?
No, tomahawking the controller was Adventure of Link.
I think that's all those news stories we had today. A couple of
yeah, the whole reason for tomahawking the controller was the last level of Adventure to Link. You had to fight 3 gators with heavy shields, and then you had to fight the boss. And then after you fight the boss, you had to fight yourself. And during that period of time, there were no health packs, no reloads, and no continues. So the segment of the board that you had to go through without losing life to fight the boss was like 8 minutes or 10 minutes.
Right.
So every time you died, you had to repeat the last 10 minutes, and then the last 10 minutes, and the last 10 minutes. And defeating the boss was one thing. Learning the pattern, finally beat the boss, and then you had to defeat yourself. So the shadow version of you, and he just jumped around like a crazy person. And once again, this is before cheat codes and before your internet. Nobody was telling you how to solve the game, so I tomahawked the controller.
Tempest says, I tomahawked the NES controller for Final Fantasy VI, the boss fight right when the world was destroyed, and you came back and you had to get the party back together.
I believe it.
Tomahawk the controller. Good times. Adventures of Link. Yeah. There's a couple times that you get the controller, you're like, slam.
Yeah, Seriously.
All right. Chat, we're gonna stick around for just a little bit. If you have a question for me or Sarge, just put at 30NSG in chat. You can ask us a question. We'll stick around for a couple minutes. Any question you want. We don't have to answer it, but you can ask any question you would like for me and Sarge. I don't know what games I want to play. There's a couple games coming out, Sarge, and I don't know what I should do, right? There's a game called Pacific Drive, okay, which is that station wagon. No, it's a station wagon survival game, okay? And it's
next game. What's the other one you want to decide to play?
The other game,
like Wally World, bro. It sounds like National Lampoon's Vacation. Is what it sounds like.
It seems pretty cool, though. I watched Austin's review of it from Skill Up. Oh yeah, you want me to show him? Let me show him. This actually looks pretty good. All right,
Station Wagon Adventure. That fuck out of here.
No, I'm telling you, man, it looks good. You got.
Does the car look like the truckster? Does it look like that?
It looks. Yeah, it looks like you can build it up.
The car from Vacation.
It looks like the Winnebago. Yeah, from. Right, so
they do that shit on purpose, bro.
This is the trailer for it. It's the trailer. Okay, here we go.
They do that shit on purpose.
Right, you got this shitty car, and you're in between worlds, and you got to find pieces of gear to make it better, right? And you got to go around this open world, and you get out of the car, and you find different parts, okay? And it looks fucking cool, right? And you drive around to different places, and you try to upgrade your car so you can get out of this like world between worlds. Right? It's fucking psychedelic, man. It looks pretty cool. I don't know. I'll tell you what. This looks more interesting to me than Death Stranding.
What's the other choice?
Oh, well, let me show you. Oh, hold on. Okay.
So the choices are: you want to play this, maybe, or what else? Show me something else.
Hold on. I got you. Okay. Let's see.
With the family rally pack, dude. With the family rally pack.
Okay. Or this game right here.
No contest, Vorian. No contest.
Or this game right here. Okay.
No contest, Vorian.
Sarge is going to say the other one better. He's going to be like, no, go for the other one. Okay. Or playing Expedition Mud Runners, which is another game like Snow Runners. Which car game, Sarge? Pacific Drive or Mud Runners Expedition?
I mean, you probably have more fun with this one
Think so?
because you're good at it. They're gonna be like climbing the mountain. You're gonna be like, okay.
There's some cool stuff you do here. Okay. Yeah, Sarge, where's the whiskey? Sergeant driving. You gonna join me on this, Sarge?
Hell no.
You got an anchor. You see me going up that mountain?
This is the game I'll tomahawk one of the new controllers, but you can't tomahawk because it's wireless.
Rose says the answer is neither. No, the answer has to be one or the other. Rose, Pacific Drive or Expedition Mud Runners. Those are the choices. People says
something new would be the space car thing. It looks kind of interesting.
Oh,
I mean, you know you're gonna buy that anyway. You know you're gonna get Mud Runners.
Probably. Dupless, thanks for bringing it up. Right. Dupless asks thoughts on the Borderlands movie and why it's shit.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah, so Sarge saw it. Yeah, we didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about it. So we'll talk about it.
Can you put it on the background while we're talking about it?
You're
not allowed.
I can. Yeah, I'll put it. Let me just look at it real fast.
Okay, so we know it can't be perfect. Okay, like we know it can't be perfect.
Definitely
we
far
know
from fucking perfect.
that when they do a movie like this, you're in your mind, you're thinking about the cast, and it can't be perfect. Personally, for me, Roland should have been Samuel L. Jackson, right? And Maya should have been Kate Beckinsale. That's who should be Maya, right? Now, is this a horrible Maya? No, right? But is that Tiny Tina, by the way? The girl with the ears?
That is Tiny Tina.
I know a lot of other young actresses that would have been a better Tiny Tina than her.
1,000 times. Now, she's a good actress, though. She is a good actress.
She is, but I don't think she understands Tiny Tina.
When I heard her speak, Tiny Tina is like crazy. Like it would be hard for a girl.
You got to have psychotic. You got to be psychotic.
Yeah, you got to be.
Right? Now, I'm not 100%. I'm not 100%.
That's true, Jason. That is Lilith and not Maya.
So they said Maya in the thing. Is it Lilith? Because if it's Lilith, that's a win, but not Maya.
Did they say Maya in the trailer?
I could have sworn they said Lilith or Maya.
No.
I could have sworn they said Maya.
Yeah, no, I think. Yeah, I don't know if Kate Blanchett is the one to be that part, because in the game she's not that old, and Kate Blanchett's a little older than what the character I think should be.
No. Yes, that's fine. That age bracket for that Kate Beckinsale is fine.
That's not Kate Beckinsale. That's.
I know it's not. That's who should have been.
Oh, okay.
The girl that played in Underworld. That's Kate Beckinsale. That's who should have been Maya or Lilith. Is it Lilith? It's Lilith. Thank you. I thought I heard Maya. I heard Maya. In the
Lilith
trailer.
was younger in the game. Yes, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think Kate Blanchett should have been Lilith. Right? Kevin Hart to me is always Kevin Hart. No matter what movie he's in, he always plays Kevin Hart. And I don't think Roland is Kevin Hart's character.
Okay, but they haven't done a movie like this in a while. Like this movie could be on the same level as oh god, my brain.
You're not going to say Guardians of the Galaxy, are you?
It could have been. It could have been. They could have made it like that, but you know it's not, right? It's a little bit more slapsticky. You know it's going to be, right? But if you're doing a cross between like Mad Max crazy Thunderdome stuff and like super sci-fi fantasy things, it's difficult to do. This is difficult to do.
I think they shouldn't have done a live action of this. I think they could have done a animated movie.
An animated version.
Yes. It would have been the cell shade, or stylistically make the movie like a cell shade, like the game.
Yeah,
right?
but Krieg isn't in the first game. If you say Lilith, but there's Krieg's from the second game. So if you're mixing the two games together, then where's the sniper? What's the hell is his name?
Mordecai.
Mordecai, right? Where's Mordecai? You have Krieg, but you don't have Mordecai. If you're following the first movie or the first game, then the original guys aren't all there.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You're mixing them together,
To me,
right? Brick. Thank you.
the music and the way they cut the trailer, it's 100% like a Guardians of the Galaxy feel, and
I'm hoping.
or Dungeons and Dragons. And I thought Dungeons and Dragons was actually done pretty well. I don't know if you saw Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, but it looks decent. It looks decent. The writers have to understand the writers of the game. If they do, it'll be kind of fun. If they don't, then it's just another trash movie.
I think this is what's happening. What's happening here? I think this movie is made by people. Obviously, the guy who created what the hell's his name? I forget the owner's name. The creep guy. What's his name? Chad. I forget his name. Anyway, I feel that the people that are made this movie don't know what Borderlands is. And yes, he was on set, but there was a lot of turmoil going on behind the scenes. That's why it took a while to make this movie. This movie
was done already. I heard this movie was done already.
Done for 2 years, and then they did reshoots last year.
Oh,
don't
tell me that.
The director left to go make a different movie. The writer that originally wrote this movie left and took his name off the project because he doesn't want to be associated with this.
Oh no, bro, that's no good.
Okay, so there's a lot going on here, and it just doesn't look. I don't know. I mean, it might be entertaining, and people might like it, but
vehicles are accurate. The enemies are accurate. I mean, it's accurate.
I don't know, chat. Don't you think they should have done some stylistic stuff to make it look like the video game a little bit? Like, make it the cell shade type of stuff. Like, make it some visual statement.
Reshoots 2 years in a box and reshoots?
Yeah, they did reshoots. And the director didn't finish out the movie. Like, he finished the principal photography, but then never came back and gave his blessing for the other director to do stuff.
Can we just ponder for a moment the story of the Borderlands game, right?
Yeah, Randy Pitchford, that's his name. Thank you very much.
The story of the first game and the second game, like the first one wasn't that good story-wise, but the second one's story was really good, right? You could use that as a screenplay and make a real movie out of that. That would work. The story in Borderlands 2 would work. Right, so the game can be translated into a movie.
Well, I would assume I'm assuming they didn't want to do 2 before 1. This is supposed to be 1 leading up to 2, right?
Yeah, but Krieg is there and Mordecai is not, and there's no Brick.
Movie adaptation. That's where it comes in. I don't know.
All right.
I feel like they wanted to make this movie, but I don't think the people that made the movie.
When is it coming out? When is it coming out?
Does it say when the movie comes out? It just says soon. Yeah, coming soon. It doesn't say.
I might go see it. I might have a few drinks and go see it just to see how it is. I mean, I love Borderlands.
I'll wait 17 days after it comes out, and it'll be on the streaming service.
Yeah, but I want to see it on a big screen.
Does it come out in April? Did they officially say that, Krebsy? Because at the end of this trailer, it says coming soon.
I might see it.
Does it say April?
But that's a movie you want to watch on a big screen, bro. That's a movie you want to watch on a big screen.
Yeah, it's a no for me. I mean, if it comes out around my birthday and I'm down, or you're up here, I'll go see it with you. So I can have a good time ripping on it.
I don't see Kevin Hart as Roland.
No, I don't see Kevin Hart as anybody but Kevin Hart.
He's not a tough guy, right? I mean, You see Samuel L. Jackson doing a movie like this, like he owes somebody something, but then he can have fun with it. You know what I mean? Like you could see it. But Kevin's got to actually act and not like Kevin.
Yeah, I just feel like it's not going to work out. Did I miss a new member?
I know he's Tempest. I know he's not, but Roland's not a wussy leader of a group. He's cold and calculating.
Yeah. Kevin Hart's always Kevin Hart. It's like Vince Vaughn, right? Vince Vaughn plays Vince Vaughn.
Hey, listen, if we're gonna just start throwing shade down anyway, Brick could be The Rock, easy.
Or Batista.
Brick, yeah, could be The Rock, easy.
Yeah, or Batista.
Or yeah, could be Brick. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm saving Kevin Hart's entire shtick. I'm not a tough guy. Right. Real quick, Kenneth
Krebsy,
Shatterwhite, thank you very much for the new membership. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Who could we get as Moxie? Yeah. Who could
Moxie?
We get as
Moxie? It's Gina. I saw it the other day. They show Moxie in the trailer. They show Moxie in the trailer. It's played by Gina Gershwin, I think. Yeah,
Gina Gershwin plays Moxie.
Yeah. Oh shit! It's loud. Stop it. Yeah. Yeah, Gina Gershwin plays Moxie. Is that right? Gina. Is that her name? What the hell is it? Moxie.
Do they show her? Am I missing it? Do they show her?
They show her in the trailer.
Where? I see Tannis, played by oh God. My brain.
I'll show you. They show her for like a split second.
What the hell's her name? The one playing Tannis. The actress. What's the hell's her name?
Jamie Lee
Curtis. Thank you.
Yeah, they show Moxie for a brief second. She doesn't look. Here, I'll just look it up on the.
Well, how do you know it's her? How do you know it's her if they barely show her?
They show her. This is what she looks like. This is it looks awful. I think it looks bad.
Yeah, Moxie's like one giant innuendo. The whole humor behind her is one giant innuendo.
Yeah. Here's what she looks like. That's Moxie.
Let's see.
She looks terrible.
No.
That's her.
No.
That's not Moxie. Horrible. That's 100% Moxie right there.
That's Moxie, yeah. No, Krebsy's agreeing. He's just saying that.
You're saying that's not Moxie. Okay.
Right. He's saying he understands that that's Moxie, but that's not Moxie. We're on the same page.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's Gina Gershon. Yeah. She is playing Moxie. Not my Moxie, at least. Yeah. I agree. But hey, whatever. Gershon.
Well, to be fair, Dave, that Moxie is old in the game. She just portrays herself as young by putting all the makeup on and stuff, but she is older.
Sure.
She has jokes about it.
I just don't think she fits that. Whatever. We'll see when the movie comes out. I don't want to shit on it before it comes out.
Tracy Lords, good pick, Brain. Good pick.
Yeah, I don't want to shit on the movie before I see it. The trailer, which is supposed to get you in the seats,
it's supposed
not doing it for me. Not doing it for me.
It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a fun action movie. That's what it's supposed to be.
No, right, absolutely right. But I just feel like it's such a beloved like franchise in video game form, and what they showed me there doesn't feel like Borderlands. It feels like Guardians of the Galaxy in Borderlands instead of Borderlands.
But you have to know that version, even though you don't like it, is better than any other version of a video game movie for a while now.
Mario.
That looks pretty good.
That looks
pretty damn good. Mario's had its chance 6 times already.
Oh, Mario came out. The last Mario movie was probably the best. Sonic came out, was a good Sonic film.
Sonic had to be redone. The fans decided.
Oh yeah, he was ugly as fuck when he first came out.
That's right. We fixed it. That's right. We fixed it. But Mario already had a bunch of movies out before the last Mario movie came out. Yeah, it was a good movie, but as far as first time coming out, is it a good video game movie? Yeah, it looks good.
What's up, Kingard?
Looks decent.
Kingard says, Randy Pitchford. Now, that's a name I haven't heard since Aliens Colonial Marines.
Is he dead yet? Is Randy dead yet, or did he retire?
No, he's still in operation of the company.
He's still in Gearbox? He's still part of Gearbox?
Yes.
I thought he left.
No, he's still there, and that's why he was so annoying when they were filming the movie. They literally kicked him off the set.
For real?
Yeah.
That's why there's reshoots.
Yeah. Last of Us, not a movie, but a great show.
That's not good though, bro. The reshoots and stuff, that's not good.
No, there's a lot of stuff that went bad with that movie, and we'll see when it comes out. All right, any questions, chat? We're gonna wrap it up here. First Mortal Kombat movie was great.
Cheesy, but good.
Yeah, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, they were.
the first Mortal Kombat movie that came out that was done just like a Rambo movie or a Chuck Norris movie was the same shit.
Sure. Doom was
It
terrible.
It was the same shit. Doom was terrible.
Yeah, Doom was terrible.
Doom was terrible.
Final Fantasy movie was terrible.
Oh my god! Don't even start. That's not even a movie. Don't even start.
There's a bunch of movies that just
don't even start.
Shit. Right? Just a bunch of shit. Cinematography, Pikachu Detective. Yeah, it's another. Okay. I think that some of the best film movies, right? Oh, Monster Hunter was a piece of shit. Monster Hunter.
There was a Monster Hunter movie?
Yes.
When?
The same people that did, what's her name? Lilu Multipass. What's her name? What's the actress's name? She did Resident Evil. I can't think of her name. Fifth Element.
My brain hurts.
I can't.
It's not working anymore. Too much drugs.
COVID fucked up my brain. Gran Turismo. That's a video game movie that came out. It was a good fucking movie. That was a good fucking movie.
Yeah. Right, Alice. Yeah, that's it. Mila, his
yes.
thoughts are going into one word things on the screen.
He's trying to type so fast. He's like,
got a name.
Mila Jovovich. Yes, thank you. I appreciate RPG. He's trying to type so fast. He's like, I got this one. That's I'll reward you 2 points. I'll give Brain 3 points. So Brain's winning tonight with 4. Like, just giving out random points to people.
I didn't realize Monster Hunter even came out, bro. That's a real thing.
Monster Hunter was a piece of shit. Yes.
I missed that completely.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Go watch Ghostbusters 2016. It's probably better.
No, I will not watch that either. The new one does look good, though. The new one looks interesting.
Which one?
The new Ghostbusters.
Oh, the new Ghostbusters. Yeah, well, did you see Aftermath?
No.
You never saw Aftermath?
Nope.
It's good. Not great, but if you connect it, because it's connected to the first two, it's good. It's good. And the new one looks good too. It looks good. Just gotta erase that middle one, which I never saw.
I miss Harold Ramis though. I miss him.
They do a really nice part in the new movie, in the one that came out a couple years ago.
He's just a great writer and a funny guy, dude. He was part of a lot of movies when we were growing up. You don't even realize how many movies he was part of.
Yeah, the Uncharted movie with Tom Holland. That they're making number 2. They're making number 2 of that. Yeah, Harold Ramis. Even the Ghostbuster game does a really good job.
Well, it's better than what's his face trying to be the Indiana Jones character, right?
Who?
Marky Mark.
Yeah, look, I think Mark Wahlberg should have played. I think he should have played Nathan Drake.
You think so?
Yeah, I think they should have.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah,
I'm Nathan Drake.
Yeah, I think.
Hey,
I mean, obviously, I would rather have Nathan Fillion play Nathan Drake because I think he would have hit the part perfect, and he even pitched himself as it. But I think Mark Wahlberg would have played a better than the part that Tom Holland had. He's just a little too young. I don't know. Monster movie, 7 out of 10. IGN. That's what they gave it, dude? I bet you that's what they gave it.
Dude, just throwing hand grenades.
No, I think they did. I bet you IGN. I bet you IGN gave Monster Hunter
the whole show. He's been throwing up 7 out of 10s for
Monster
IGN
Hunter movie.
shit.
Monster Hunter movie. I guarantee you they gave it IGN Monster Hunter review. Let's see what the score is. Monster Hunter. No, it's Monster Hunter World Review. What's the movie called? Monster Hunter runs over an hour and a half. But oh wow! Look, I have a little respect for them. Monster Hunter review, okay, of it. They gave it a 3. They gave it a 3.
Because they didn't owe anybody anything.
It got a 3.
They didn't
3 out of 10.
They didn't owe anybody anything. It didn't matter what they scored it.
Nathan did a great short film for Drake. Yeah. I thought he should have gotten the role for it. Just like I think what's his name? That I just fucking Batista should be Marcus for Gears of War film. 100%. Give that dude that role. Like, give it to him. Like he wants it so bad. Give it to him.
100%. The Rock could be in there as one of the other guys. He could be
no, he can't be the Train. He can't. No, he's not black enough. He's not black enough.
Oh, that matters now?
Yeah, Coltrane's black. Like he's a black guy.
That matters now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought anybody could be anybody.
No, you could put Rock in there as like the other sergeant that comes in and gives him a shit or something. But you got to get someone. Know who would have been a really good
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Kevin Hart should play the Coltrane. Woo! No, Terry Crews. Terry Crews needs to play Coltrane.
He can wear platform shoes.
No, Terry Crews needs to play Coltrane. He's got the energy level.
Oh yeah, Terry Crews. Yes.
100%. The Rock should not play Coltrane. It should be Batista and Terry Crews as the Gears of War guys.
Yeah.
That's my pick.
Yeah.
The Rock turns movies into shit.
Oh, wait, even better.
Do you smell what The Rock's cooking?
Hang on, even better. So when you do the Gears of War movie, right? The rookie has the mask on, right? We don't know who he is, but who do you get to play the rookie?
Kevin Hart.
Right?
It's Kevin Hart.
It's either Kevin or it's got to be an actor that you would never see in a movie
Jack
that
Black.
plays the rookie.
Jack Black.
No, he's too fat.
I thought you were gonna say he's too old.
No, he's too fat.
Tom Holland. Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, maybe. Because he's got to sound like he doesn't know what he's doing, but he wants to sound tough. Yeah.
The whole time you don't know who he is, and it's really not Tom Holland until the very end when his helmet comes off and they put Tom Holland in there. No. What's the other guy's name? 21 Jump Street. Not
Joe Pascal.
Yeah. what's the other guy's name?
It's almost like a red shirt, but not quite.
Yeah, you got to get someone that's just
they have to pick like a famous guy that they don't have to pay him a lot because they don't see his face type of thing. It's got to be that kind of a joke.
Tom Cruise,
right? Like somebody. Oh, Tom Cruise is real short though.
That's right. Short rookie guy, Tom Cruise. Put him in there. The whole time you're like, do I know that voice?
Yeah.
Do I know that voice?
Yeah, maybe Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Not Jonah Hill. Channing Tatum. That's it, Brain. Thank you. 5 points for Brain.
Channing Tatum. That's a good one too, Brain.
Yeah. I was gonna say that. He was helping me. I said the other guy from 21 Jump Street. Hulk Hogan. Gears of War needs to be like the Predator. Like the cast, and by the way, since the last time we had a show, fucking Apollo Creed. Carl Weathers, thank you very much. He passed away, man. Right?
Yep.
But Gears of War cast needs to be like the Predator cast. Just big buff motherfuckers that are just like right?
Huge.
Yeah. Huge. Yeah.
They have to be big guys.
You gotta get like Brock Lesnar in there. You gotta get a bunch of wrestling guys. Oh, it would be a massive hit if you just bring wrestling fans in there.
It would like be doing the Expendables movie. And it's instead of getting like all the action stars, you get all the big guys. Same thing.
Pumped up wrestlers, and you put some actors in the lead roles. Get the other guys that die off, but they're just in the. Gears of War would be a good movie.
Yeah, it would be. It could be, but but Borderlands has to do well, bro. That's why you should go see it. They're not going to make a Gears of War if we can't do a Borderlands. That's how they're looking at it.
Fucking put Gina Carano in there as one of the girls in there.
Gina Carano could be one of the females.
Yeah, no, I'm being serious. Yeah, I'm not trying to put her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just put her. Yeah,
absolutely.
Where can I make this movie? Let's do it. I don't want Zack. If Zack Snyder's filming that fucking movie, I'm done. I'm not watching Zack Snyder ruin Gears of War. I watched Rebel. Did you watch Rebel Moon?
You guys seem to have a lot of hate for that movie. I haven't seen it. Was it better or worse than? Hang on. Was it better or worse than?
Worse. Whatever you're gonna say. Worse.
Fifth Element?
Worse. Oh, what the fuck you compared Fifth Element to that?
Jupiter Ascension?
It's worse than Jupiter.
It's worse than Jupiter?
Worse than Jupiter. Worse than Jupiter. You gotta watch it to understand it. And even when you watch it, you won't understand it. It's bad.
When's the Dune movie come out?
2 weeks.
My problem with this is I never watched the first one because I want to watch them together. Do you think the movie theater is going to play 1 and 2 together? Because that's when I'm going to go see it.
They might. They would be smart to do it.
Yeah, I want to watch it all together.
You might have to go to a niche theater though. You might have to find a smaller theater to watch.
That's fine. Yeah, I want to watch them. I want to watch it all together. I don't want to watch. I didn't watch the first one. I heard it was really good, but I didn't watch it.
You know, I would love to do a podcast like that, dude. But Sarge doesn't even want to do this podcast sometimes.
Podcast of what?
There's no way Sarge would sit down for another time to talk about movies.
Well, look, the show would be really good for about 6 weeks, and then we run out of material.
Oh, we wouldn't? Are you kidding me? We could talk. We could have 6 episodes, 6 weeks of just talking Pulp Fiction.
That movie's done very well, by the way.
All his
I know
movies
people
are
don't-
done very well. I didn't watch the last one. I didn't watch the Hollywood with Brad Pitt and them. I didn't.
You didn't watch that?
I didn't see it yet.
Bro, get on the train, bro. Get on the
There's
train.
a couple movies I didn't see
Great.
because of that came out.
It's fantastic. That Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You're talking about that?
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yep.
You have to immediately go watch it.
I haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I haven't seen The Joker. There's another movie I should have saw, but I didn't see. Like the big ones I wanted to watch.
No more questions. We good?
Yeah. All right. All right, chat. We are done for the night. We went over about another 20 minutes or so. Appreciate you very much. Generation X Gaming is a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. Appreciate you very much. You can watch us and listen to us right here on iTunes, on YouTube. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. And we appreciate you coming out. Thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one.
Game on, guys.
They're two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.